starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Thursday, October 10th, and I'm here with the lovely Lindsay, the beautiful Al, and the adorable Brandon.
Yeah, I'll take
Adorable.
Yeah.
I'm not a Care Bear.
Yeah, well, that didn't come out right. And I'm Tori. Here we go. All right, guys, we talked a lot about this yesterday because now Matt Lauer's accuser, Brooke Nevils, is slamming Matt's defense of himself. She calls it a, quote, case study in victim shaming. So Matt denied Nevils' accusation that he raped her at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. He said their relationship was consensual. So it was pretty bad. I mean, this was anal intercourse that was very painful for her. And he's saying, hey, this was a totally consensual thing. And we got together for the next 3 years. A lot of the DBL viewers are writing and saying, how does that happen unless you don't consider rape always like a violent act? It might be more complicated.
And I think a powerful man dating a younger entry-level employee is not something that's foreign to all of us. We've seen that. That's not a crime. A crime is actually when you rape somebody, which what she's accusing him of. So I would like to see her go to authorities, even if it is past when it happened years later, even if it is past when they can collect DNA or past when they can do any research all the way in another country. But I would like her just to have him on file as a sexual predator in her eyes and see how that moves forward and how the authorities want to take it seriously.
But would the police believe her? It's Matt Lauer. He's the most popular man in America.
He's not the most popular anymore.
He was when she was going to make that in 2014. He was hosting the Olympics.
They believe the Cosby's accusers eventually. I mean, and just like they believe
going to a journalist is
there
helpful.
There were things on record, and I mean, she did not go to the authorities. No, she went to a journalist, and a journalist is only going to hear your side of it. And I think
she did go to HR at NBC. Excuse me.
And I believe she did take a lawyer with her to that meeting.
Yes.
But they did continue to have a relationship for 3 years, and that does muddy the waters a little bit. And I think a lot of our nation and a lot of people just looking at this that don't have really a dog in this fight just want to see justice. If she was raped, we want to see Matt Lauer brought to justice. And if he wasn't, we want to see him be exonerated from this case, not from all the other things he's been accused of.
Yeah.
But we do want to answer.
But is this victim shaming? Do you agree?
I don't think it's victim shaming. We didn't hear from Matt Lauer when all of this was coming to light in 2017. This is his first time speaking out, and he's kind of defending himself because it's not like these are new allegations or these are new challenges. I mean, new charges. We're just learning who this woman is, and Ronan Farrow is coming out with this book. So now he has the opportunity to kind of dispute some of the allegations that's against him, which this is America. We should be able to do that. And I'm not trying to be on his side or anything, but what threw me off is the passage in the book when Ronan is talking to her, and she said that after this incident that happened in 2014, they kept having a transactional relationship. Now, what does that exactly mean? Transactional. Was there money involved? Am I helping your career? And like you said, that's what murkies the water.
So everybody here seems like we all just want some more answers and some more clarity, because we've also learned we've jumped on people too fast in this Me Too movement. We have. Aziz Ansari being one of them. Yeah. So let's take it
and I think a proper police investigation will give us some of those answers if they follow through with it properly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting. What do you guys think?
Is it interesting?
It is. It's really interesting. All right. You've got to see this new Fox News poll because it's super interesting. Talking about how many Americans favor impeaching the president. So according to a Fox News poll, again, Fox News, a majority of Americans, 51%, want President Trump not only impeached, but also removed from office. Now, 4% just want him impeached, and 40% are against the entire impeachment inquiry. So the president is now blasting the poll. Let me show you what he tweeted. Quote, whoever their pollster is, they suck. Eloquent as always. Eloquent as always. So here's the deal. The impeachment now has reached a level in which the tides, to me, seem to be turning. Lindsay, how do you take that poll?
I look at this poll similarly to all the other ones we've seen. Half of the country wants him impeached, half of them don't. This is the same thing, except it's from a right-wing network, right? So that's the only difference here. Everybody's like, wow, Fox is saying this.
But is it impeach and also remove from office? That's a huge step forward.
Right, and that's only half the country. So what I think is actually going to happen is not that. I think that he'll go to Senate. And Mitch McConnell, like you and I discussed, did say that he will bring it and follow the proper procedures. But do I think that actually all the Republicans are going to vote for Trump to get removed from office? No. So then do I think that all the voters who are in between, independent and just fatigued by this whole process, are going to take that out on Democrats? Yes. And that's the problem, because you have to realize that Trump raised $308 million and the year's not even done.
I hear you.
So when you have Biden, who's facing these foreign allegations, when you have Elizabeth Warren, who to me has great ideas, but I don't see how they're going to get executed, I don't know who the front runner is going to be that's going to beat Trump when his base is so bolstered right now.
I hear that until yesterday, in which he said to our allies, the Kurds, who fought and died alongside of us, we don't care about you. We're going to let you go. And Syria invaded Turkey, and the Kurds were just left. That angered a lot of Republican senators, including Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell.
But that's not what he's being impeached for.
Correct.
So they're two separate
but do you
issues.
feel that the tides have turned, that they can start clapping back at him, that the trial might be a little bit more edgy because of the latest thing that he's already done?
Yeah, but I don't think that they're going to bring outside issues into a particular trial where we're talking about a whistleblower and specific allegations. So to bring your energy in is not actually doing your job of just researching this one case and following through. So I don't think that those incidents will have anything to do with this impeachment.
I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think?
Interesting.
I know, very. All right, were we too quick to defend Ellen DeGeneres' friendship with former President George W. Bush? The two were seen laughing together, if you all remember, at the Cowboys football game. And then Ellen defended their friendship on her show, but now actor Mark Ruffalo is blasting her. Look at what he tweeted. Until Bush is brought to justice for the crimes of the Iraq War, we can't even begin to talk about kindness. And just before we go, just so you know, something's going viral right now. We're live. Can you put that clip of the shot of Ellen back up? Someone has replaced the Dallas Cowboy in the background. I don't know if you guys can get it. See that background, the blue? They put all horrible pictures from the Iraq War. And it's gone viral because at some point, yeah, we can all disagree, but when you literally sent men and women off to be killed on a lie, weapons of mass destruction, people are having a hard time in hearing Ellen on this.
It shows you if you wait long enough, people will forget and forgive everything, whether it's like our short-term memory with Sean Spicer or Scaramucci, or just like, think about this, Tanya Harding. Tanya Harding is like a sympathetic figure that had a movie made about her that was very pro Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
She hit her competitor in the knee who had been practicing and doing the right thing, it appears, the entire time.
Inspired to.
And now, yes, well, yes.
I'm sorry.
So, you know, but no, you're exactly right. Thank you for correcting me. So it's like, you let enough time pass and Americans be like, yeah, Tanya Harding, I think I liked her,
How about
right?
Michael Vick, too?
Well, yes, but Michael Vick at least did some things to atone. He's still a major dog advocate. I don't know what Tanya Harding has done since she conspired to take out Nancy Kerrigan.
But this just goes to that us versus them mentality that we have. I could take a picture with you right now, Al Jackson, and someone from Cleveland back in the day and be like, oh, well, he cheated on a math test.
But cheating on a math test versus sending men and women out to die is a huge difference.
You could do that with multiple presidents. That's their job. What about Obama with the drone strikes in Pakistan?
And I think even if you look at like Hurricane Katrina, right? So after that, I think African Americans aligned in the way that response was horrible. And so to see Michelle Obama say that Bush is a wonderful man and say things like that, you still look at that picture and say, oh wow, they moved forward. Maybe they've grown in their thinking. So I'm not going to judge every single thing that one person does, especially somebody who's worth $400 million like Ellen, that she relates to another rich person.
Well, that was my point.
Yeah,
that was my point. It's just like, I think that it's more than that. I think it's a different level.
Yeah, interesting. Well, Ed Sheeran is teaming up with a fellow ginger, his royal twin, Prince Harry. Ooh, it's all for a good cause. Take a look.
I just don't understand what it's like for people like us.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Well, you know, like with the jokes and the snide comments, and you know, I just feel like it's time that we stood up and said, you know, we're not going to take this anymore. We are ginger, and we're going to fight.
Okay. Slightly awkward. This maybe a miscommunication, but this is about World Mental Health Day.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, no, I knew that. No, I definitely knew that. Yeah, definitely knew that.
That's so cute. I mean, it's great to have a sense of humor. This will go viral as it has, but it's to discuss World Mental Health Day. I've been very honest. I went through clinical depression in college. There is nothing to be ashamed about. Today is the day to speak out if you need some help. I'm sure you all have had experiences.
And there's such a stigma with mental health, especially in the Black community. I think I was the first of my friends, even with my mom, I can definitely say, to tell her that I was going to therapy, and then she felt that it was okay, and we discussed that openly. So I think once you start being open about those kind of things, you help other people dramatically.
Wow.
Therapy is the best.
It is.
I just wish I'd started it earlier.
Me too. Well, we hope
everything like I'm crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. So guys, let us know how you're handling a World Mental Health Day. DBL, we are live, and coming up, decades ago, a young woman beaten, raped, and killed. Discover how a DNA test that nabbed a notorious serial killer will play a pivotal role in this cold case in today's True Crime Chronicles. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. The Atlanta Braves baseball team is cutting back on a time-honored tradition because some believe it's offensive to Native Americans. Your comments on the controversy coming up next.
Currently go to therapy? Or?
I do.
Yeah.
I go to. I'm like a big believer. Now, that's true. In the Jewish community, it's like everybody has a therapist. And I was telling you earlier because I think it's because we always, in Judaic olden times, would go to a rabbi. That was a big thing. You go to a rabbi to talk. So the sense of going to someone to listen is very ingrained in our culture. And I didn't go till college, but I went my freshman year in college, my sophomore year in college, and I looked at her and I said, something's very, very wrong. And then like it all broke out, and it was just a life-saving opportunity to be with someone who understood. And I'd never been in therapy before. But
What
man,
prompted you to go?
I wasn't getting out of bed for like 3 or 4 days. I slept for 3 days at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
The stuff.
And it was
if
like
you don't-
something's gone really wrong here.
And I think even if you're not going through a tough time, that's people think you have to go to therapy when something's wrong. You can go when you think things are right
Oh,
because
it's
there's still like
fantastic.
mannerisms and things that you do that you don't even realize, oh my gosh, this is like a history of repeated behavior, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think that when you talk to other people about it, especially for, I don't know about for guys, but how long have you went, Al?
I went for like a year and a half when I lived in LA, and I really it was like a year because the first I would say 6 to 8 times I went, I just didn't take it seriously.
Right.
And just didn't. And then I was just like, well, who are you? Why are you paying for this if you're not going to take it seriously? And as soon as I started opening up, I think that he knew that I was not taking it seriously. And then once I started to understand a lot of things. So
Yeah, me too.
it's great. I haven't hooked up with anybody here in Denver.
I have a great guy.
Yeah, you told me
I
you
have
have
a
a good
great guy.
I hope that more jobs pay for it. That's one thing that I struggled with is that
The
I had to
insurance
meet
covers
an
it.
out-of-pocket cost,
Yes.
which I never met by the end of the year, so I paid about $150 every time I went,
It is
which is what made me go from I needed to go every week at first because I was going through a tough time to I can only afford to go once a month at most.
I think that's what a lot of people are dealing with. Now, in Michigan, too, I couldn't afford it, so I needed free,
Right.
and they offered 5, but I was like... Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Sports fans and just regular people and Atlanta Braves fans have been pushed to break a long-standing tradition some consider racist. So yesterday's playoff game between the Braves and the Cardinals did not include any foam tomahawks or chop-related graphics at the request of St. Louis Cardinal Ryan Helsley, who is Native American. But some fans continue to tomahawk chop even without the music. So, DBL Nation, would you be willing to break a tradition if some considered it racist? And if you don't know, I'm only doing it to show you the tomahawk chop they do, and it goes like, oh, I mean, it's got a whole chant with it.
Right.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
All right, so our first comment is from Zach from Facebook. He says, do people of legitimate Native American heritage actually have a problem with the tomahawk chop? Or is it just woke white people that have an issue with it? And I think if people feel it's racist and you see people stepping out from the Native American community sharing their thoughts, why are you so hard pressed on keeping this tradition? Just let it go, move on and find something else. It doesn't mean that much to you, but it means a lot to them, so stop.
And they do have a problem with it. Yep. Kelly from Twitter says, I think the ban is positive. Fans might not like it, but maybe they can reflect back on it and see it was a good move. Absolutely, Kelly, I absolutely agree with you because I feel as though you as a fan, you don't dictate whether that team wins or loses. So what do you care if you're the Redskins or if you're the Blues? So if you're the Redskins have only made the playoffs 4 times since 2005. Now, if you changed your name, that doesn't change anything. You still have the same ownership. You still have whoever you have at quarterback. Just because you changed the name for the Chiefs doesn't mean Patrick Mahomes is not going to be an MVP candidate anymore. People are offended. This is highly offensive to a certain group of people. So we need to change it. It does nothing. It does not change the overall sport.
All right.
Well said, Bert.
Dan from Facebook says the Minnesota Vikings are named after the Scandinavian warriors of old who raped and pillaged foreign lands. Should they find a new name too? Dan, I kind of see where you're going there, and I appreciate you writing in. You have to be careful of what's called whataboutism. It's the way that you kind of deflect arguments. So if I said, Dan, you made a horrible movie, I didn't like it, and you said, well, what about Back to the Future 3. It's like that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So you have to watch out with what you're doing there and when you have a group of people that I think we can all agree have been marginalized. If they say they've been offended, I think for what Native Americans have been through in this country, let's just make it better.
Or give them some of the money from the proceeds that you profit off.
I agree with all about it. What aboutism? I'm definitely going to use that in my next argument. Very good. All right, coming up on DBL, we'll tell you how DNA technology has given a family a sense of renewed hope, decades after a young woman was brutally murdered. Do not miss our latest installment of True Crime Chronicles when DBL returns.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio. Saving money is all about setting a budget. So how do you create a budget you can actually stick to? We're sharing tips on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. So Felicia, how important is it to create a budget?
Actually, it's so important to be on a budget because that's how you save your money and, do fun things with your money. So one of the cool things is that more than 50% of Americans actually utilize a budget, but we can always be more efficient. So here are a couple of tips that you can use so that you can, be on a better budget. So first is set a money management day. I like to use the 1st and 15th day of each month to set 1 hour before 6 p.m. to look at all of your finances. And I say before 6 p.m. because usually afterwards we're grumpy or hungry or hungry
or
grumpy.
hangry.
Yeah, or hangry, yeah.
There's the word.
So make sure we're going to do this the 1st and 15th day of each month.
Okay.
And 1 hour before 6 p.m. and look at all of your finances. The next thing you want to do is constantly compare your expenses to income. If you're spending more than what you're making, that's usually a red flag.
That's not good numbers.
No, it's not good numbers. So what we're going to do is document all of the expenses and income, every last dime that's going out. We want to make sure we know where it is going. And then we're going to make corrections and cuts because this will set us up to budget for the next month. You're always looking at the next month when it comes to your budget. Yeah, so we got to make sure we stay on top of that. And then finally, be realistic. A lot of us are on budgets, but we sometimes forget about the budget when fun things come, like going on vacation. So I always just say be realistic with what you're actually doing, document everything, but make sure you set goals to pay off debt if you do have debt, and get the family involved. Sometimes it does take a village to manage your money.
Yeah, I like it. I do this with my wife at home. We do manage our money. We do have a budget. There are credit cards and apps now that actually...
The 1980s is on the verge of a breakthrough. Thanks to a new type of DNA testing, we are taking a close look at the Barbara Blatnick case in DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Barbara Blatnick's murder has captivated the Cleveland area for decades. The 17-year-old was a popular student at Erie View Catholic High School.
She just turned 17. She was just a kid.
It was Christmas, 1987. Barbara spent her last night alive at a party. She left with friends who brought her home and never saw her again. The next morning, tragedy shook the town. Oil and gas workers found Barbara's body in the woods, miles from her home.
Whoever killed her beat her to death.
Barbara was beaten and raped. She was found naked with only her class ring left on her finger.
I always just thought we were just going to be one of those families that never knew because there was not enough evidence or samples. And unless somebody said, yeah, I did it.
Investigators held on to her class ring and a small sample of DNA under Barbara's fingernail for years.
Luckily, they have held on to this DNA that was underneath her fingernails that she probably got when fighting her killer.
Now, a new nonprofit called Porchlight is now taking on the case, paying $4,000 to conduct private DNA testing.
I think our chances are really good with solving this case. I think it'll happen sooner than later.
It's not your typical DNA tests we see at police departments. The nonprofit is looking at genetic DNA. It's the same type of testing used to identify Joseph DeAngelo, known as the Golden State Killer. The serial killer and rapist was caught last year after decades of crime, thanks to genealogy testing. Barbara's family believes this new DNA testing could help track down the person responsible for killing her.
Earlier, DBL co-hosts Sam, Al, and Lindsay spoke with journalists at our sister station, WKYC in Cleveland, to get a deeper look at the case. Take a look.
We are joined now by investigative reporter Drew Horansky and investigative producer Phil Trexler from our sister station, WKYC in Cleveland. Now, this story, I mean, for all of us, it gives you goosebumps, especially as parents. 17 years old. I just pray that the family gets justice. You both have been covering this case for months. Any updates?
Well, I'd say the latest update is that the unique group, nonprofit Porchlight, has come up with some DNA profile that is now currently being tested. They did some fundraising, they got the money, and it's currently being tested. And in fact, they've even come up with a partial profile that have yet to be released because of the ongoing investigation. But there is movement forward.
Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. Because there's so many cases, why did the nonprofit Porchlight decide to pick up this case?
Well, for one thing, it's very expensive to do, as much as $4,000 to $5,000 to do this DNA testing. But another thing that we learned is that a lot of departments can look certainly in their own databases, but they would only be limited to people already in that database, people who are likely convicted of a crime. What this allows them to do is to look outside of that database to people who have not been convicted, people who have submitted to genealogy sites.
Wow.
Certainly widens the net, casts it out much bigger than they would if they just looked internally within their own department.
Wow.
Why did it take a nonprofit to make this happen? So, like, why can't suburban Cleveland police do the DNA testing on their own?
Good question.
That is.
Yeah, there's some issues there with the current genealogy community and law enforcement. They're trying to set up the new rules. Of course, there were some very high-profile cases last year and over the years that they have solved and resolved. But the disconnect is there, so I think it's better now that a private nonprofit works with the genealogy community to do the testing and keep law enforcement to the side. It's what everybody's comfortable now until the new rules are really set in stone.
And sadly, a lot of these cold cases get overlooked as well. Departments have fresher cases to be working on, and we've seen in a number of cases that these, over time, they are sort of out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and Drew and Phil, this is the same testing used to track down the Golden State Killer. Do you feel it will bring the same success to this case? And how soon can we expect results?
It certainly has the potential to. The family's hoping, and Porchlight is hoping, that perhaps by Christmas time they could have a full DNA profile. Keep in mind, in this case, what Barbara was able to do was to scrape. She used her nails to defend herself against her attacker, and apparently that is a very good bit of DNA to get. It gives a stronger profile. So the hope is that certainly sooner rather than later, with the money that has been ponied up, that can help expedite this a little bit. The hope is that by Christmas time, and again, as Phil had mentioned, they already have a sense of ethnicity and who this person may be.
Wow. One step closer. One step closer. We pray that they get the justice. Thank you, Drew and Phil. And DBL Nation, if you want to read more on this case, go to WKYC.com. We'll be right back. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Welcome to Headlines, where all you news junkies out there can test your knowledge on today's current events. So I'm Raquel, this is Angelica, and I'm going to quiz her, and let's see if you can get the answer right before she does. Vinyl records are making a comeback. They are expected to sell more than what other form of recorded music? Is it tapes, MP3s, or CDs?
Vinyl?
Vinyl.
Music? Okay, that's easy. It has to be MP3s.
Right? Raquel! I'm sorry.
What's the answer?
So the answer is CDs for everyone at home. Digital Music News says vinyl is going to overtake CD sales for the first time since 1986.
People still buy CDs?
I'm going to give you one of the biggest headlines of the month, but I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it to you using some emojis. So take a look. What do you think it is?
Okay. Royal Flight, New York, Tennis Open, clap, clap, clap.
If you don't get this, you've been living under a rock. You get one more guess. Everyone at home is probably screaming at you right now.
Royal Tennis. Serena?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, you can never show your face in London because Meghan Markle took a royal... Yes.
Since when? Oh, my God.
Meghan Markle took a royal flight out to visit her friend Serena at the tennis U.S. Open. Next up, I'll give you 3 clues, and you have to guess which celebrity we blurt out right here on screen. All right. This actor says it's time for a woman to play James Bond.
Raquel, I've never seen James Bond. I know you guys are going to be so mad at me.
All right, second clue then. He too is familiar with the life of a secret 007
James
agent.
Bond!
Yes, but which James Bond?
007?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you the final clue.
Okay.
And you at home will be screaming. He has piercing blue eyes. Piercing.
Liam?
You at home have probably already won because the answer is Pierce Brosnan.
Who is that?
Wow, no friends with the royal or any secret agents anytime soon.
All right, clearly I need to brush up on my headlines.
He told The Hollywood Reporter it's time for a woman to take over the role.
Okay.
He famously had it in the 90s. Everyone at home remembers. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for headlines. Let's see if one day Angelica can get an answer right. Welcome back to DBL. You have to see this Georgia baker's epic fail. So a bride-to-be ordered a peacock-shaped wedding cake, like the one you see right now. Take a good look. Stunning. Am I right?
That's great.
Yeah.
This is the cake she got.
Oh.
Bravo.
She says it looks more like a, quote, lopsided turkey with leprosy.
I mean, do you
It does look like an
do you
ill
just tell her, like, don't open that till you get home?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's not good. But you know what? It's a bird.
If it's red velvet, it's good.
That's true.
I bet it tastes delish.
It's
doesn't look
flour and sugar. Of course it's going to be good. It's about how it looks.
So who cares about what it looks
The
like
bride.
if it tastes good?
The bride, the guests.
The other peacock cake probably tastes terrible. So what?
What are you basing that on?
Nothing.
No facts.
facts.
There are no facts on
All right, we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. It's World Mental Health Day, so be good to yourself and others today. Bye, guys. Hey guys, sorry, that was so Valley Girl. Hey guys, Tori here. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Yom Kippur. If many of you don't know, that is why I was off yesterday in observance. It is the highest of all the holy days for all Jews. Of all the days of the year, this is the holiest. And what you do is from sundown to sundown, you don't eat. You fast the whole day. You're not even supposed to have any water. It's supposed to be just a really strong fast. And why you fast is to atone. It's called Yom Kippur, just means the Day of Atonement. And what you do is you sacrifice something that you want to think about all the times you were haughty or arrogant or rude or mean or wanted praise and did something out of spite. And you ask for atonement. And part of the tradition is literally we do a mea culpa, like a pounding of the chest to show we're sorry. And we spend all day in temple. And so I ask you, the DBL Nation, if I was ever haughty or arrogant or overwhelmingly rude or didn't listen or didn't get your point right, I ask for your forgiveness. It's something we can all do. It's a great day for that. And it's a serious day. So you really kind of sit and meditate about what did I do last year that I don't have to repeat this coming year. And so it's a really beautiful day, to be honest. And then you have something called a break fast, which actually becomes breakfast. And all it is a ton of bagels and lox and whitefish. I had a lot of whitefish.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Matt Lauer's rape accuser fires back, why she's calling his response a case study in victim shaming. Then, the cruise from hell? The reason passengers on board revolted against the crew. Plus, weight loss secrets revealed. Jessica Simpson's trainer shares the tricks she used to drop 100 pounds. And an on-air interruption. See a reporter's son wander into her segment on live TV.
Excuse me, my kids are here.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, October 10th. I'm here with Erica, Lindsay, Al. I'm Sam. Jeff has the day off. Before we move on, I feel left out that I'm not wearing a bun.
This is really random.
I feel very left out today. Did I miss the memo?
We should have called you. No, we're going to give you a little inside track to how we became the Pointer Sisters today. So black women have wash days, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, this week, ours fell on the same day.
It's a 3-hour process.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are, and that's how it's going to be.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you very much for clearing that up. We talked about this a lot yesterday, but now Matt Lauer's accuser, Brooke Nevels, is slamming Matt's defense of himself. She calls it, quote, a case study in victim shaming, while Matt denied Nevels' accusation that he raped her at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. He said the relationship was consensual. So do you think that Matt defending himself is victim shaming, Erica? Did he cross the line in his defense?
I think that at this point he doesn't have any other choice because he has remained quiet for so long, and clearly this was the bombshell of the bombshells. That's the reason why they waited so long. I said before that he was trying to cut through, or they were trying to cut through the noise, because there was so much Me Tooing happening at that point that their story would have gone unnoticed.
Yeah.
So I think that he felt like he had to say something.
And I think being in a powerful position in a company and dating an entry-level employee is not an actual crime. It's wrong in some people's eyes, but it's not a crime. The rape is the actual crime, and that's why I would love if the young lady would push forward and go to the police still. And I know the incident happened years ago, but just to have it on document that you feel this man is a sexual predator, put that on file so that he can have that stamped on him, and we can have the proper lawyers and officers, people in charge, look into this and give us the answers that we all are looking for.
And proper justice, too, because if he did commit this crime, if this is all alleged, but if he did rape her in such a horrific way, the way that she described it, I don't want to see him do that to somebody else. But who am I to tell a victim, allegedly, what she should be doing with that experience?
Right. I mean, am I being naive when I say that this can all be avoided going forward if we completely cut out any kind of employee fraternization at all?
No way.
Which may seem, Sam, a lot of trouble in the workplace comes from this. I'm talking about removing alcohol from company events. I'm talking about no dating unless it goes to HR, and if you do make that decision, then maybe one of you guys has to quit. But it seems like we've had so many problems up until this point. I'm not saying it's equal on both sides. I'm saying that men have not been able to control themselves in the workplace. There are weird dynamics in terms of power dynamics in the workplace. Could this just be simplified if we just say this is a place of business, your social life belongs on the outside of this place?
Though. I do think there's a right way to handle it. I've never had to deal with it personally, but I look at our very own Tori Shulman, one of our co-hosts. That's how she met her future husband. So I don't want to see a bad apple, allegedly, like Matt Lauer, spoil it for all the people that do handle it in a very mature fashion. And I think,
look at Bill and Melinda Gates. She was a project manager, and he was the CEO and owner of Microsoft, and they're married now. So when it goes well, it's okay for all of us.
But the thing is, in corporate America, these rules already exist.
They do.
It's not as though like every corporation is going out and you can get wasted at a work event.
But I think he's suggesting a ban,
right?
like a total
but the thing
ban.
is, there is protocol for this in most corporations. If you are going to date someone, then you have to go to HR, and if it's a difference in like levels, then it does become something. And we've had situations that we know about that sometimes you have to make a decision, you can't work there anymore. Other times it's completely fine as long as there's transparency. So this already exists. It's when you take it to a point where you're in a hotel room allegedly sodomizing someone that it becomes an issue, and that's just common sense.
All right, well, chime in, DBL Nation. We do want to hear from you. You got to see this new Fox News poll talking about how many Americans favor impeaching the president. According to Fox News, a majority of Americans, 51% of you, want President Trump impeached and removed from office. 4% want him impeached, and 40% are against impeachment. The president is blasting the poll. Let me show you what he tweeted. Quote, whoever their pollster is, they suck. Okay.
Well said. Well said, sir.
I'm not surprised.
Can I just say, I think if we look at this poll, and I just want to pull it up one more time, in the middle, it says that 4% of Americans don't want him to get impeached, but then not removed. And we're going to go through this process, and to me, that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's why I think we had 4 years of talking about impeaching him, and 4 years where we don't have a viable candidate on the other side that's going to compete with him. He raised $308 million, and we're only just ending the third quarter of this year. So,
well, he's great for big business. Someone's saying he doesn't have big donors.
That's what I mean. But what are we going to do? Who's going to beat him now? This is only, I think, supporting his case, because we have Biden, who is affiliated maybe with some foreign allegations. We have Elizabeth Warren, who to me has great ideas, but I don't see how that's going to be executed. And then we have, you know, Bernie Sanders, who unfortunately has health complications. So who's the front runner now, and who's going to beat him?
I think that while people obviously are donating a lot of money, I don't know if this election is going to come down to who has the bigger war chest. I think that this election is going to come down to something that it came down to last time, like versus dislike, change versus no change. And when it really comes down to it, he wasn't elected because of his policies. He was elected because people wanted to change some things and interrupt the status quo.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of how this election, I think, will be different. It's like it looks like Matt Drudge of the Drudge Report is now kind of going against Trump, which he never did. Fox News seems to be wavering on the support. The tariffs are killing farmers. There are
the tariffs are killing
yes, a lot of businesses,
many small businesses.
Yes, and then now you have military generals coming out saying that you know what's going on in Turkey with the Kurds is reprehensible. We're seeing that play out, and I think a lot of people that supported him are leaving him now. So I think that might make things different.
We'll have to wait and see. Let me tell you, chime in, DBL Nation. So we got to ask you: were we too quick to defend Ellen DeGeneres' friendship with former President George W. Bush? Be honest with us. The two were seen laughing together at the Cowboys football game, and Ellen defended their friendship on her show. But now actor Mark Ruffalo is blasting her. Look what he tweeted. Quote, until Bush is brought to justice for the crimes of the Iraq War, we can't even begin to talk about kindness. So, I think we had more of a nuanced conversation. We did talk about, and Erica, you were pretty frank about the fact that if you are oppressing someone's rights, or in this case, according to Mark Ruffalo, if you are costing people their lives based on a lie, that would change your idea of whether or not you could be friendly with somebody.
Yeah, I think I thought that it was very beautiful that we wanted to talk about kindness because a lot of people, you know, we're sick of all of the craziness and the back and forth. So it was a nice moment, but it's not a realistic moment, especially for people who are in oppressed, marginalized groups. If you indicate to me that at your core, you think it's okay for me to continue to be oppressed, we cannot be friends. If you indicate something at your core that my life is of less value than your life, we cannot be friends. So I think it's interesting how this played out because it became more about more topics than we ever even talked about it before.
Do you think through time people just forget? Because I think 20 years ago, she laughing and hanging out with him would have blown up much bigger than even what we saw.
I mean, let's remove politics because it's such a volatile issue. Let's just talk about somebody like Tonya Harding. She allegedly had conspired to get Nancy Kerrigan hurt physically. And she was a pariah for a long time and a punchline for late night talk show hosts for years. Smash cut to, what, 3 years ago? I am Tonya. Now she's kind of beloved. People are like, man, she had a tough upbringing. Showing up to the Academy Awards. And now she's that girl because people forgot that allegedly people around her sought to have somebody assaulted to lose a match. You look at somebody in recent memory, Sean Spicer, who sat and lied to the American people for a year or some change, and now he's on Dancing with the Stars, and it's hilarious because he's wearing a lime green shirt.
But at the same time, I think all the outlets that we all read praise Michelle Obama, right, for playing with Bush at different events and handing over candy. She described him as a wonderful man on the Today Show. So is that not the same issue? Because I think a lot of black people felt that he left them in the dust with how he handled New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina. So, you know, but we're not all putting that all onus on Michelle Obama.
We pick and choose. It's odd how we pick and choose. It's very odd to me.
It's like Ellen didn't say she has to be the spokesperson for everybody of LGBTQ rights, and just like Michelle Obama doesn't speak in every moment of her life for every single African American.
It's a good conversation. Yes, it is. Well, DBL is live coming up. Jessica Simpson wowed everyone when she revealed her 100-pound weight loss. But now we know her secrets. Plus, Sesame Street gets serious. We'll tell you how it's tackling a nationwide epidemic.
What a cute little girl.
I know. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. The Atlanta Braves baseball team is cutting back on a time-honored tradition because some believe it's offensive to Native Americans. Your comments on the controversy next.
Commercial breaks, she's handling life. She has another business. She has another baby. She has another baby on the way.
Another
she has
baby,
a
another
husband.
baby.
So if you need 3 minutes to make sure the ship is still afloat,
Thank you. I
we
do
got
need
this.
a couple minutes.
Yes.
Thank you. I just wolfed down a empanada during my 3 minutes.
Oh my God, that sounds so good.
I went to Cuba.
I am starving. I had to go and get a cracker. I haven't been able to eat.
No, not during lunch. I went to Cuba last night with Colin.
Oh.
And then I brought home empanadas intentionally so I can eat them today. Have you been there? It's a Belvita.
Yeah, they used to get those away on U.S. Airways flights. I got hooked on them. There's a lot of calories in those. Sorry to, this is coming from a guy that eats Stroop waffles on United flights, like they're going out south. And like this one woman, like she gave me the, do you know what the Stroop waffle is, right? Yes, with the caramel. They are, the reason I don't get them on Amazon is I can't control myself.
Wait, what are
the
these?
Stroop waffles on United flights, it's like two tiny waffles pressed in between caramel. It's like this, it's so good.
You got this?
They're so good. And the thing is, like I was trying like either be nice and kind of flirt and be like, hey, can I get another one? And like she put the tray over and I took two and she goes, you're supposed to take one. And I go,
This ain't
well,
JetBlue.
it's done now. I said, I was like, it's done now. So what do you want to take it off
Do
my
you
tray?
hate when people on the flight act like it's their
Yeah.
merchandise? Like, I'll say, can I have a water before? I'm not first class, but can I have a water before I board? That's only for first class. I have to take medicine or I'm dying of thirst. One or the other is what I'm asking you.
Have you ever asked to hang your coat up when you're not
Oh,
in first
yes.
class? They're like, we can put it on the floor so people can wipe their feet.
What they printed,
like to get out of here.
Yeah. That happened to me, and I actually wasn't first class, and the lady was like, "And what do you know? It's gonna be first class."
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host. When we talk about what you're talking about, well, many Atlanta Braves fans have been pushed to break a long-standing tradition some consider racist. Yesterday's playoff game between the Braves and the Cardinals did not include any foam tomahawks or chop-related graphics, at the request of St. Louis Cardinal Ryan Helsley, who is Native American, but some fans continued to tomahawk chop even without music. So DBL Nation, would you be willing to break a tradition if some considered it racist? Now, really quickly though, before we get to your comments, check out this news station's banner shown after the Braves lost. Braves scalped. People are offended by that word, and in my opinion, they should be. They were trying to be tongue-in-cheek there, and that is absolutely tone deaf.
That's
and
one of those things
disgusting.
saying we always talk like
so tone
no
deaf.
one in the room. There's that one intern that was like, excuse me, that might not come. I just find that amazing.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Take it away, Erica.
Well,
Sorry about that.
Alice, no problem. Allison from Twitter says, I'm sick and tired of everyone else having to conform to one person's opinion. Well, Allison, the issue is it's not an opinion. Imagine if you were grossly offended by something because you considered it to be racist or you considered it to be a offense against you. You would expect everyone else that you encountered to at least respect the fact that you felt that way. It's called human decency and empathy. So the fact that someone who was of Native American descent said that it was racist and he was offended, who are we to say that it's not racist and you shouldn't be offended?
Kevin from Twitter says, I can't stand the tomahawk chop carried out by fans in places like Atlanta. It's ignorant, disrespectful, and must stop. I'm sorry to say this, but the fans in these cities look stupid. I just think either they're unaware or they look ignorant, but I think that everyone should just put this to arrest. These people have been mistreated for the history of our country. And so I think if they're getting offended by this stuff, then we should just stop, and that should be the bottom line.
Right?
Yeah, why are you so hard pressed to keep it? Yeah.
How does it affect
I don't get right to be racist.
Oh my gosh.
People don't want change, y'all. No. All right. Darnell from Facebook says, politically correctness is bad, and it's a sad day when the Braves fell victim to this insanity. The tomahawk chop has been around for a long time, and the Braves buckled to political correctness, which is very unfortunate. Darnell, you have a right to your opinion, but don't forget that there is precedence for this. A lot of teams have changed their name. The St. John's Redmen are now the St. John's Red Storm. The Syracuse Orangemen are now the Syracuse Orange. And last I checked, it seems like you're okay. I'm okay, Darnell. It seems like they changed it, and you didn't even notice, bro. I think they changed this. You wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, and why, if something has been around for a long time, makes it somehow okay? Yeah. Then we would be stuck, and we would still have some atrocious injustices occurring in this country if we did not evolve.
It's interesting how everybody wants to evolve,
I'm shocked.
But they still want the new technology. They just want things to stay where they were, but they still want the iPhone 11.
Nothing.
It's like you can't, if you don't evolve, then you got to still drive a Model T or something.
Nothing wrong with empathy and okay. Coming up on DBL, the hit Fox show Masked Singer is back. Oh, and spoiler alert, the Eagles, a dear friend of DBL, will reveal who he is.
Is it me?
Up to, like, just hurt
And another
me,
day, another drama
like,
for the
no
OC
idea what's going
Housewives.
on.
Did one of the women actually set up her friend on a blind date with a dude who's already taken? No. That's next in Reality Roundup.
Like, why are people holding on to it? Like, why do you need the team to be called the Redskins? They're losing anyway. No shade.
Yeah.
But like, change the name. It's fine. It's like, why has this argument been going on for years?
Because people take it, I think, as a personal indictment as to who they are. They feel like, I grew up with this. What's wrong with this? I mean, it sounds crazy to say now. There was pushback to people not being able to smoke on planes and in restaurants. There was pushback to having everybody have to wear a seatbelt. These things were all pushback because people are like, I grew up, my dad used to put me in the front seat, he'd have a beer between his legs, and I'm fine. It's like that, and so they think
we didn't
that
know
is
better,
like an
so we didn't do
indictment
better.
on their father. And it's not, it's just us progressing. That's all it is. If Tori's not here, I'll jump in.
Hey, Lindsay,
Oh,
stand
sorry.
by for me. Lindsay, stand by.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Reality Roundup, where we obsess over the week's best reality TV moments. And in for Tori Shulman, we got Lindsay Granger here. Get ready, girl. Here we go. First up on the Real Housewives of OC, Gina's blind date was canceled last minute, but the drama came when she learned Emily set her up with a guy who was already in a relationship. Check it out.
He tells her that he has a girlfriend.
Why would he agree to go on a date?
Exactly. And he's like, oh, well, Emily and Shane knew that. I was humiliated.
So like a pity date.
And then I called her 6 times. I'm not even picking up because I don't want to hear her excuse her way out of this.
Next, okay.
Pity date?
Yeah. So Emily and
break it
Gina.
down.
So
Break it
Emily and
down.
Gina were besties, and they only had each other. But then Gina started to be invited into the fold with all the OGs, which made Emily feel really left out.
Rightfully
but
so.
Emily is obsessing way too much about her relationship with Gina, like to the point that she's giving Gina all of her power. Because the reality is, Emily's situation with her husband is so terrible that I don't know why Gina would want to get involved by dating a relative of Shane, because everyone knows that Shane is the worst.
Yeah, the
You got to
worst.
keep up,
Mind
Lindsay.
blown. I'm like,
You gotta keep
Shane
up.
and Gina and
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. All right. Next up on The Real Housewives of Dallas, the ladies have some fun with gifts at Leanne's bachelorette party. Enjoy.
Oh, I love it! This is from Stephanie.
Yes!
That is hilarious.
That is amazing. Okay, so cute. I don't know if the underwear is sexy or creepy, but it is real funny.
Were those moons?
I don't know.
That's like a pretty boring bachelorette party, I gotta say.
What? What are you used to?
I mean, I just thought it would get a little more crazier than that. I don't know.
Well,
I haven't gotten engaged or married yet, though.
What kind of bachelorette parties have you gone to?
Yeah, tell us.
I pray somebody invites me to Ibiza. That's my dream, to get somebody take me there for a bachelorette party.
It's Ibiza. Did you know
Ibiza.
that?
Oh, excuse me.
I got
yeah.
corrected.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Now I do.
All right, and we can't wait to break down the latest fight on MTV's The Challenge. Check it out.
We have to shoot him again. Just stop. Tori immediately jumps in, and that's my baby. She a ride or die. She in there. She gonna die with the man.
Nice, real nice turbo.
That's about all he kicks.
Stop, Jordan, just drop it.
Okay, I'm starting to get really over this show because every single episode, I feel like the contestants, whether they're produced to think this way or whether they're drinking too much or have too much testosterone, it's fighting every single week. I'm sick of it. What kind of example is that?
It's over. I agree. It's aggressive. If I want to see someone really go after someone like that, then I'm gonna watch like UFC.
I was just gonna say that.
Exactly.
And kicking the watermelon, like that seemed like it only hurt him.
It's a challenge.
Little counterproductive, right? So, what of all three of these shows, which one looks like the craziest to you? Because this is your first time on Reality Roundup.
Maybe the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems a little like, I think about crazy like the one I wouldn't participate in, maybe the most likely to not
The
participate.
most physically challenging
Fair.
too. Yeah, no
Fair.
thank you. Exactly. We will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to the Digital Break. I'm Jeray Banks, and today we're talking a little bit about World Mental Health Awareness Day. If you didn't know, October 10th is the World International Mental Health Awareness Day, which is super important. Last week it was actually World Mental Health Awareness Week, I believe, or maybe it was earlier this week, and then we're just continuing on to this day. However, so important to recognize and understand that people do suffer with mental health illnesses. I know I have close loved ones to me that do have mental health illnesses as well, so it's something that definitely speaks close to my heart, as well as many people here at DBL. So if you are celebrating or if you are promoting World Mental Health Day, please feel free to write us down below about what you may be suffering with and how you, how you deal with it on the daily. Some people use prescriptions, some people do more outdoor activities and extracurricular activities, but how do you deal with it? Let us know down here below at the comments. Also, if you guys didn't know, it's also Thursday, which also means it's Friday Junior. It's always the best day to be in the week. It's wonderful. So what are your guys' weekend plans? Are you having an extended weekend maybe? I know a couple people around in here are leaving early tomorrow. I feel like it's like a holiday that I don't know about yet, so I'm trying to jump on that plane too. But what are you guys doing for the weekend? What's happening for Saturday, Sunday, maybe your Friday night? Write us down below. And don't forget to check out our new podcast, Slay with Jeray. It just aired yesterday, and you can find it on Spotify, Apple iTunes. There's one I'm missing. Twitcher. I'm like, Tinder. I didn't know we were on Tinder. Switcher, my bad. And you can always double check at Jure for the Slay on my Instagram, and there is actually links there too. But make sure you guys check it out. We're talking entertainment news, and Miss Stephanie Jones joins me on our first podcast, in which we're talking about Eddie Murphy returning to the celebrity world. Post Malone is getting his own beer can, and even there's one more. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix getting commented on set and what happened on set of The Joker being filmed. So let us know when you check out the podcast, or go watch it right now. There's a link somewhere on Daily Blast Live, or just check out on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, or Switcher once again for Daily Blast Cast or Slay with Dre. We'll see you guys soon.
Welcome back to DBL. Have you ever had a dream vacation go terribly wrong? Well, a group of Norwegian cruise passengers are revolting, demanding a refund after their 14-day cruise went south due to weather. Well, passengers chanted refund, refund after multiple ports were canceled, saying the cruise line was doing a bait and switch. The cruise line says, quote, "We always do our best to provide our guests with a truly enjoyable and memorable vacation, but our very first priority is to ensure their safety." Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're ensuring their safety, but they should also get a refund.
Right.
What? Yeah.
It's Mother Nature. You
It
got
wasn't
on a
one
boat.
port. It was like 5 ports.
Sometimes the seas are rocky. I have worked on cruises for a year and a half. I know this.
So you're stuck
Trust
on a
me, they
boat
wanna
the whole
Trust me,
vacation?
the crew wants you off the boat, first of all, so they can clean it, so they can restock. They don't want people, because then they have to come up with more activities. They plan on getting people off of the boat. If it's too dangerous and they let you guys off and you get hurt, we'll be leading with the story of 50 passengers fall over rocky seas.
Okay, well, that's true. That sounds great. However, I don't understand why companies wouldn't think to acknowledge their passengers before it becomes a problem, because that's what it is. They're looking for acknowledgement that this has gone wrong. You should be proactive about that before a revolt, because they're in the right too.
Yeah, I agree.
don't know about that. I say go to the bar like a grown-up.
You're biased. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Sesame Street is tackling a really tough subject, how a Muppet's hardships will hit close to home with millions of Americans.
My mom needs help learning to take better care of herself.
Then, a cute cable news blooper. Watch what happens when a reporter's kid interrupts the show.
Live television.
And Jessica Simpson's weight loss tricks will tell you exactly how the singer turned mogul dropped 100 pounds when DBL returns.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the studio, and we are talking managing finances as a single woman in today's Dollars and Cents, presented by John Hancock. Very interesting topic today. I like it, Felicia.
It's going to be a good one.
I like it, and thanks for being here, as always.
Thank you.
You ready to jump right in with our question?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This question is from Sheila through Facebook. She asks, I'm recently single after a 20-year marriage and was never the one in charge of finances. What advice do you have?
You know, this is a really good question because a lot of women find themselves in this situation. So what we're going to do is jump into a couple of tips, and when it comes to single women and finances. So first thing that Sheila should do is pay herself first.
Okay.
You know, 44% of single women have less than $1,000 of saving. So what Sheila will need to do is make savings a hobby and make sure she puts money into an emergency fund or other savings first each month. So that's the big one.
Okay.
The next thing is Sheila needs to protect her credit. because single women, you know, we don't have another income to rely on, so you're going to have to really make sure that credit stays high, and it helps you give favorable loans and rates and interest rates and things like that.
And is that basically just paying your bills on time?
Yes, exactly. Keep that credit score as high as you can, pay your bills on time, pay off all your debt, you know, keep this up on a regular basis.
Right.
And then finally, we're going to leverage community and work resources. Now, this is so cool because we are in a time where financial education is pretty much around every corner. So we're going to tell Sheila to make sure she goes and get financial education, tap into resources in her community, and you know what, and get a debt accountability partner if she wants to pay off debt. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Who needs to go get one of those reliable people, and we have you, Felicia.
Yes, I'm here.
You're here for us, and we love it. Thank you so much, Felicia. And to submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email askmrsjones@dailybladslive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, last night's Masked Singer saw 4 new contestants face off, but it was the end of the road for the Eagle. Now we know who it is. Any guesses? Here's a clue. It's a friend of DBL.
Jonathan Bennett.
Jeff Schroeder.
We would have known if it was Jeff. He'd be missing for a month. Erica?
Well, I already know.
You already know. Okay. So, yeah, it was Dr. Drew. Take a look.
Yeah.
Eagle, show us who you really are. It's Dr. Drew!
He kept this a good secret because I talk to Drew all the time. You know, I worked with Drew for years and we've become very close, and I was just in New York talking to him constantly. He was there for a long time in LA shooting The Masked Singer. I had no idea.
How long? Because he's the busiest man on the planet.
I don't know how he figured it out, how he did it, but did you guys know he was an opera singer? I knew that, but did you know that?
That's insane. You think there's only singers under, like real true singers under there, and then you find out it's Dr. Drew.
Trained opera singer.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, my favorite part about it, and I razzed him about it last night, and he just wrote back, ha ha ha. But the reason why, so Drew is obsessed, and I would even say Drew unhealthily obsessed with Abraham Lincoln. He's read every single book about Abraham Lincoln. He talks about Abraham Lincoln way too much. And so he chose the Eagle to honor Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
Wow, that's dedication.
Everybody's got their thing they're into, though.
I know, it's cool.
I just don't know how he had time to do that. That's amazing.
He's amazing.
Yes,
I want his energy.
Come back on the show.
Please come back, Drew.
Can you ask him how hot it is in that suit?
Good idea. I can tell you.
Everybody looks flustered.
I can tell you, I've had to wear one of those suits before for a modeling job when I was like 19 years old. I had to be the monster from monster.com and hand out. Oh my gosh. And hand out flyers.
And you were hot in there.
It is so hot and it's stifling.
I'll text him and we'll get back to the audience at the end. An Oscar winner is in big trouble. So Raquel, what's going on?
Well, Sam, right now, Cuba Gooding Jr. made his first court appearance today, and it was quick. He was scheduled to start his groping trial case today, but Cuba spent only a few minutes in a New York City courtroom before he learned he's facing a new charge. Now, we don't know what the charge is yet, but he's been accused of groping a woman at a rooftop bar back in June. He had 2 forcible touching charges, which could land him a year in jail. We'll know more about the case when he's back in court next week.
Yikes, this one just keeps on going.
Yeah.
This one is interesting.
I know.
Like we saw it happen.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Hopefully we hear all the details, both sides, and that and that justice is served the right way. Well, Sesame Street is introducing a new character to help kids understand addiction. Meet Carly. She explains why her mom goes to a meeting every day.
You see, well, my mom needs help learning to take better care of herself, so she talks to people with the same problem.
You see, buddy, everybody there is having the same kind of hard time, so they talk with each other about it.
Oh, this is so important. Did you know that 23.5 million people just in America alone suffer from alcoholism or drug addiction, and less than 1 in 10 actually receive help?
Yeah, my mother did us a really big favor by being very transparent with us about addiction running in our family, and we to understand it, and we witnessed some of that. And I thought that, like, growing up now, I realized that she probably saved us by being so open about it when we were very young. I think it's very important that people talk about it.
Yeah, and I think all these young kids that watch Sesame Street, they are in like a now family while their parents recover, or while their sibling, whoever's going through that, hopefully they do get the treatment that they deserve. But
and some people don't have that person to talk to them. Like, luckily you had that. But Sesame Street has been a teachable moment for kids for years, and they've not shied away from things like death, or they even had one of the characters in the Iraqi version wearing a hijab. You know, so there's several things they've done that they made sure they talk, and they pride themselves on life readiness for kids.
Incredible.
They want to do it through their perspective and get them ready for what's to come ahead.
And I think this is so important, just because the opioid crisis doesn't just usually hit one member of the family, kind of like alcoholism. You might be missing your mom, your dad, and your grandfather.
Wow.
I mean,
isn't that the truth?
We will, for as long as we decide to, continue to talk around this topic. The fact that it's destroyed certain states in this country, we don't address that. So we'll leave it to, I guess, Sesame Street to do that.
I know.
But unfortunately, kids are going to have to get understanding from this crisis from their television, because
and comfort.
Their structure. Yeah. Their infrastructure for their life might be gone. They might be missing 4 or 5 family members and friends. They might not have anybody but the TV. So it's a big deal.
It is. I applaud you, Sesame Street. I really do.
Well done.
The Duchess of York is spilling all her beauty secrets, but Stephanie Jones, why is this different?
All right, Sam, it's because Sarah is being honest about the work that she's had done. So she's admitting to getting Botox and injections years ago, and that she's had several non-invasive facelifts. Her doctor called one a puppet lift, and it doesn't involve any knives. Instead, medical threads are inserted into the face to pull it upwards, and then they dissolve in about 6 months. But you see the results for up to 2 years. Now, Fergie turns 60 next week, but we can all agree that she looked amazing at her daughter Princess Eugenie's wedding last year, although she credits her happiness with making her look so good. So, does happiness really show on the face, or is it good down to a good old doctor's surgeon?
I just love that she's being open with it. And I like that the way she talked about it, Steph, really felt like that she made the decision not based out of insecurity, but just based on, like, this is how I'm aging and I want to embrace it. But my question to you is, with the monarchy, do they typically talk about these things, or is it kind of stigmatized still?
Well, I feel as though with the monarchy, they have like certain rules and standards that they go by. For instance, they're not even allowed to wear coloured nail polish. It has to be nude. So can you imagine the controversy of admitting you've had Botox in your forehead? Heaven forbid. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's braver to come out that she's no longer technically classed as a royal, because her and Andrew got split up.
Right.
So
And
maybe
also,
that's why she's got a free
Steph,
pass.
we have eyes. Right?
Yes.
Did she have to come out and say this, that she's had some work done?
I do think it's important if people are complimenting you on things. It's like if people compliment my teeth, and I'll say they're veneers, because I want people to know that I bought them in order for them to be that way. And it wasn't like all of a sudden my crown lengthening and all of the dental reconstruction that I had to have. That's not a natural thing, and you shouldn't make people think that it's a natural progression.
Well, what's the point of getting it?
I'm
just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, Al.
You guys, they were coming from both sides.
He saved himself. Thank you, Steph.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Your hair looks
Steph.
great today, by the way. Those braids are awesome. Okay, so kids, they do the darndest things, don't they? An MSNBC correspondent was reporting on the Turkish airstrikes in Syria when her son crashed the show. But don't worry, she handled it like a pro. Check it out.
Along the border, their concern is that they want to have Kurdish. Excuse me, my kids are here, live television.
That's amazing, because it's so real. Good for her for trying to combine work and kids and just handling it like a pro that she is.
Good for her for breaking up that sad topic with like a little bit of joy in this world, you know.
And it shows a real mommy moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome to see her kid running out, because you remember even your mom was on a work call and you're talking to her too much or being too loud. I would get
Yeah.
That little, like, you know, so that's a real life version of what everybody's been through.
And sometimes you can't afford childcare. Sometimes your babysitter is sick. Sometimes your babysitter's babysitter, who you sometimes borrow here and there, is also sick or out of town.
Got options.
You gotta bring the kids to work here and there.
Yeah.
I've had to do it. Jeff's had to do it. I mean, it's just reality. So
you could see her giving eyes to somebody off camera. Though,
yeah,
like,
you were supposed to
get this child.
Yeah, so good. All right, well, Taylor Swift is ruining marriages. Well, maybe not, but one couple's relationship is strained because the wife keeps playing the same 2 or 3 Taylor Swift songs on repeat. We don't know which ones those are, but let's hear a few and try and guess. Sounds like my daughter. She plays the same damn 2 songs over and over and over again. Bruno Mars' Lazy Song, which is like, you know, 'cause I'm happy. No, that's not the song.
Pharrell?
But that's the other song. Yeah, for Pharrell, and then the Lazy Song by Bruno Mars. Those 2 songs constant.
She has a song for every year that she's been on this earth.
That's true. Did this bother you?
Well, I asked Colin when we were doing the segment, that's my boyfriend, what was get on his notes that I do, and he said, well, when you give me a honey-do list, you put about 20 things on there, so you don't give me the opportunity to try to accomplish them in one day.
Too many,
yeah.
too many. What gets on your nerves, Erica?
Anthony has been interrupting my meditation lately, and it's driving me crazy.
So you're in the middle of like an
yes.
and then he comes in?
Yes, and he'll be like, and he'll creep around, and I'm like, I can hear you. Just stay out of the room. It's 15 minutes. Just give me a second. See, I would be more calm if he hadn't interrupted it.
That what I do to that annoys him. He thinks, oh God, I'm sure he has a laundry list of things, but I think he thinks I'm too impatient. So I'm always like, let's, you know, like if you want something done, I'm more like out of sight, out of mind, like do it now. And he's more of like, I'll do it on my own pace. And so I think he would tell you I'm way too impatient for him.
Oh, I wish I could have contributed, but I'm perfect.
Oh, please. What about your messy desk, your messiness? You're messy. You even have a messy corner in the dressing room.
I do. It's my shame corner.
And you do have a shame corner for him. We'll be right back.
Sam's texting Dr. Drew to see, because I've always wondered how hot it is in those Masked Singer costumes, because now you can, Erica, you were handing out flyers. Imagine if you were dancing and singing, how
Under
much
hot
hotter it
lights.
would be in there. So, yeah,
I mean,
and then
it was
also
like
nervous.
89
Tori, great
degrees
reality
that day,
roundup.
too.
You did
I'm
good.
very sorry. Everyone, I'm so sorry. I went to go get my food. My phone is plugged in there, and I missed it.
Oh, now
I'm
you're
sorry.
You set me up for failure, dog. I went out there like, what? I'm like, which show is this? Yeah, this is a regular show.
Tori, it did provide some really hard-hitting commentary.
Like from
I became like
Sam
Kiki.
goes, which reality show would you actually watch? And she goes, the last one.
I'm like
It
Kiki
was
Palmer.
worth it.
Like, I do not know this man. I'm sorry for this man.
It's so interesting. Like everybody has different. Like I don't want to call a show trash TV, but the challenge isn't hard hitting. But that's my 90 Day Fiance. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're a Housewives girl?
Yeah, the Housewives.
Which ones?
Almost all of them, except for Dallas. I'm trying so hard to get into Dallas. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
No?
And I watch all of them. It's something about.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, thank you so much.
There wasn't any authenticity from the beginning, which sounds crazy because I know that it's like trash TV. But it's like, I can buy into certain things if I don't think you're trying to sell it to me,
Right.
and they just try to sell it too hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just let it be.
I wonder if it's harder because there's been so many that the women have obviously watched the show, so they kind of know, like, I'm the feisty one, or I'm the one that's the blank stirrer, you know, as opposed to like, the first couple, they were just like, I don't know, they got a camera. Let me just act how I normally act.
But see, that's really going to be what DBL will be.
Yeah.
Because all of these other shows are trying to follow the same template.
Yes.
So it's nice to be on the beginning side.
Welcome back to DBL. Jessica Simpson is getting a lot of attention for her 100-pound weight loss. The singer admits to tipping the scale at 240 while pregnant. She gave birth in March to her third child. So now the question a lot of you are asking, how did she lose that much weight in only 6 months? Well, Jessica's personal trainer says there's 5 things she did to make it happen. So check it out because it might surprise you. First, Jessica made sure to get her steps in every day by walking.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Next, her trainer says she unplugged from technology for at least an hour a day. Third, Jessica made sure to get enough sleep each night at around 8 hours. And fourth, she did every day, she ate healthy. Jessica says she ate mainly cauliflower, but that she was not afraid to indulge every now and then. And finally, exercise on top of walking. Jessica hit the gym about 3 times a week. So what do we think? Does this seem legit? I think
no.
A lot of fluff in
eating
there.
cauliflower a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Going for a walk is not going to make you lose 100 pounds.
I think the diet is probably most important because she did get her steps in. She did work out with a trainer a few days a week. But if you're eating mostly cauliflower, you're going to think about the calories. There's no calories there.
Yeah, the food is a lot of health experts say that food is a big reason why you lose or gain weight. So
I think the steps are more important than people give it credit for because everyone thinks that you have to have intense workouts in order to lose weight. But the reality is if you're actually quantifying your steps, then you also start to quantify other things. It's like you start to check things off. It's more of like the mindset of making sure you do that than the actual doing of it.
It's a domino effect. I think having 8 hours of sleep too. If you wake up and you are exhausted, you're not going to want to work out. You want to eat more comfort food. So
are you guys just nicer than me?
What are you thinking?
Wait, did you say she meditated?
Basic tips. Two of my 3 kids could get sleep, walk, and eat healthy. Thanks, Jessica.
What she's describing is a lifestyle, though. She made a lifestyle choice.
Wow.
Honestly, I started doing, I was up to like 15,000 steps a day when I lived in Sacramento because I could walk everywhere. And I lost like 40 pounds in a year because that made me, then I was making sure I was going to the gym. I was eating healthy, but I also wasn't like not letting myself have things when I wanted them.
And a nutritionist that I used to swim with, or that worked for us at UCLA, always said, if you can get your steps in, like literally, if you're going to a meeting, get there 15 minutes early and park 15 minutes away. And so there's a 15-minute walk there, a 15-minute walk back. Look at Al's face. That adds up, Al. A half-hour a walk every single day on top of everything else that you're doing. It equates to
hitting the gym 3 times a week does not drop 100 pounds.
It's the cauliflower. Trust me. You can't just...
I eat cauliflower. I'm just going to say there's a lot of fallout from that.
Coming up on DBL, save money on
Ask her husband.
At this at-home pedicure system. Ooh, the amazing price is next in our DBL Deal Blast.
Hey Beauty Blast, it's Jeray for the Slay, and today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these aren't tips you should be doing at the red light. These are tips that we should be doing when we only have a little bit of time, but we really want a beautiful look. Now, you can do this for every day too. I know I sure do, but I love these for when I'm in a quick fix as well. So my first one I want to share with you guys today is going to be eyeshadow sticks. These are a makeup artist's dream. Now, the reason why we have eyeshadow sticks is for quick fixes for eye makeup. Who doesn't want a really cute eye look and not have to spend 1,000 hours, 1,000 minutes, whatever it is? You just don't want to spend that much time, right? I know I don't. So for that reason, we bring out eyeshadow sticks. Now you can get eyeshadow sticks for as cheap as NYX Cosmetics, which isn't that cheap. It's actually a really great line, but it's very affordable. These guys range from between $6 to $8, and then you can even spend a little bit more for an eyeshadow stick like from NARS Cosmetics, and these guys are gonna have a primer built in, so there's no extra work. With these guys, it's pretty simple. You take off the lid, you roll it on up, and you smudge it on your eye. For a quick fix, just press out with your finger and you're good to go. Now, if you're really got maybe a little extra 30 seconds or so, take your bronzer and brush it straight through your crease. This will give you an instant daytime look that's gonna be sure to make everyone stare and say, oh, hey girl, what's that? All right, guys, that's all for today. Until next time, keep slaying, queens. Have a good one.
Welcome to DBL Deal Blast. We've teamed up with MorningSave.com to bring you the lowest prices on the hottest products. And here to help us out is my twin in cheetah print, because we're feeling like it's going to be a wild girls weekend.
That's right, it
Miss
is.
Denise Plant.
Hey, we are going to pamper you, but cheetah not included.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Don't get us PETA. All right, we're going to start with our first product for our spa pampering weekend. What do we have going on here?
I love this. Sometimes I'm just so busy, you can't get to the salon to get your nails or a pedi done, right?
Right.
Well, you could do this in the comfort of your home, and it really does work, and at the same time, it feels so good. The Enjoy Micro Pedi Callus Remover and Finishing Foot Cream. Now, the callus remover, it gently and effectively buffs away dead, calloused, hard, and dry skin in seconds, and we get that here in Colorado, you know that. The foot cream is made with peppermint oil and cocoa butter. It leaves your feet soft, and it smells good with a little bit of peppermint.
Well, that seems like luxury, but is the price going to be a luxurious price?
Oh, you're gonna love this. So affordable. Normally as much as $28, but today, $12, savings up to 57% off.
57% off, but your savings is so much more than that, because we all know how expensive a pedicure can be.
Oh my goodness.
So we have these little aches and pains, and I know this product has been around for quite some time, but now it's perfected. What's going on?
I really enjoy the iPulse Digital Tins Massager. I put it on my muscles around here, on my shoulders, but I even put it on my stomach. Every once in a while, I like to work the muscles in my stomach and relax. It's the iPulse Digital Tins Massager. It's a portable and compact massager. It even has 12 automatic massage programs and 20 levels of strength. So as you're taking a nice, cool, relaxing walk, you can get a massage.
That's nice that it's all together you, that you don't have to count on anybody else.
That's true.
In order to make you feel better. How much is this going to cost?
Normally it can be pretty pricey, as much as $499. But today, Deal Blast, $29, savings up to 94% off.
$29, and as Miss Denise Plant told you, there's some duality on your back or tone your tummy.
That's right.
That's a steal. Okay, this looks very familiar, but I have a feeling that we're gonna save some money on this. What is it?
Big time. You are a fitness queen. By the way, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You've been working it, girl. Okay, so it's a smartwatch with the multifunction. This is available in black or white, and it has an activity tracker, health monitor, music control, alarm clock. You can even get text message notifications. It's really affordable, and I actually bought both. So my husband and I, this is the funny part, we track our steps and we compete.
Oh, yeah.
I can send him a text and be like, you need to get up, get out of that recliner. It's time to walk.
Well, that's the motivation right there. Yeah. But everything sounded familiar about this product until you said it was affordable.
Normally as much as $150. Today, $39, savings up to 74% off. Now you know why I bought it in both black and white.
Yes, get one for yourself, one for your partner, and then let us know who wins. We love keeping track. Okay, we hate hairs. We don't like them at all, but it costs a lot of money to get them removed from your body. So now you're saying I can do this at home?
You can do this at home. We're all about pampering ourselves, but do it affordably. So the Vivitar Silky Smooth Painless Body Hair Remover actually features 3 heads and a built-in LED light. It's also hyperallergenic and suitable for all skin types, and you get that simply beautiful, smooth skin that you absolutely love, but you don't have to actually pay the high price or go to somebody's office.
Or the pain.
Yeah, that's true. So as high as normally $60 you would have to pay for this. But today for Deal Blast, $19, savings up to 68% off.
$19. It looks as though we could have a pretty fly spa weekend for a very little amount of money.
Right.
When you have your girls trip and your spa weekend, make sure you wear zebra print. Thank you so much.
Get fit for fall in zebra print.
Exactly. Head over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing products at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you again.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's going to be a spot weekend. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
Welcome to Headlines, where all you news junkies out there can test your knowledge on today's current events. So I'm Raquel, this is Angelica, and I'm going to quiz her, and let's see if you can get the answer right before she does. Vinyl records are making a comeback. They are expected to sell more than what other form of recorded music? Is it tapes, MP3s, or CDs?
Vinyl?
Vinyl.
Music? Okay, that's easy. It has to be MP3s.
Right? Raquel! I'm sorry.
What's the answer?
So the answer is CDs for everyone at home. Digital Music News says vinyl is going to overtake CD sales for the first time since 1986.
People still buy CDs?
I'm going to give you one of the biggest headlines of the month, but I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it to you using some emojis. So take a look. What do you think it is?
Okay. Royal Flight, New York, Tennis Open, clap, clap, clap.
If you don't get this, you've been living under a rock. You get one more guess. Everyone at home is probably screaming at you right now.
Royal Tennis. Serena?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, you can never show your face in London because Meghan Markle took a royal flight. Yes.
Since when? Oh, my God.
Meghan Markle
I'm
took
awful.
a royal flight out to visit her friend Serena at the tennis U.S. Open. Next up, I'll give you 3 clues, and you have to guess which celebrity we blurt out right here on screen. All right. This actor says it's time for a woman to play James Bond.
Raquel, I've never seen James Bond. I know you guys are going to be so mad at me.
All right, second clue then. He, too, is familiar with the life of a secret 007
James
agent.
Bond!
Yes, but which James Bond?
007?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you the final clue.
Okay.
And you at home will be screaming. He has piercing blue eyes. Piercing.
Liam?
You at home have probably already won because the answer is Pierce Brosnan.
Who is that?
Wow, no friends with the royal or any secret agents anytime soon.
All right, clearly I need to brush up on my headlines.
He told The Hollywood Reporter it's time for a woman to take over the role.
Okay.
He famously had it in the 90s. Everyone at home remembers. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for headlines. Let's see if one day Angelica can get an answer right.
Welcome back to DBL. Okay, so full circle here. You, when we were talking about the Masked Singer and Drew being revealed as the Eagle, wanted to know how hot it was in that outfit.
Everybody looks so hot.
So he wrote back very with an exclamation mark, but he did elaborate that his wasn't as bad, I guess, as others, but he, although he could move, breathing was really tough. And you can imagine as he was running around, he was a showman. And when you're singing and you can't breathe, so he said that was the toughest part. But you can tell he's a little sweaty right there.
Yeah.
That's commitment. Well, I was on the treadmill during homecoming, and I was singing with Beyonce. I lasted about 5 seconds. I don't know how they do it.
How does she do it? I know she's just
not from this planet.
professional. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
hope you're doing really, really well. Last night, I went to go and see The Addams Family. But we're not talking about that. No, we're coming soon because it's not come out yet. So I'm not gonna tell you what's happening in the movie. Don't worry. But I will be reviewing it, and then you guys can watch it on DBL Jump in the next maybe week or so. So over the next week, you guys will see my thoughts on the movie, and I'll let you know what it was like. But I gotta say, it made me laugh a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. But I went with Raquel, and I also went with Leo, and it was so much fun. I had such a good time. So anyway, stay tuned over the next few days, and I'm sure you'll see our review and it'll be awesome. Other than that, I need you guys to go out and check out on the DBL website and on Apple Play and also on Spotify the podcast for DBL. So you guys can listen to the 10:30 a.m. shows, and you can listen to it in your own free time, whether you're in the car, maybe you're in the bath. Don't put your electrical device anywhere near the water, I'm warning you. But you can re-listen to the shows, and they've been sliced up by one of our producers here called John, and he literally has created this whole new podcast Monday through Friday, and it features all the morning panel, which is Al, Brandon, Lindsay, and Tori, and you can listen to them all and rehear all of the podcasts and the joys of the morning. And our good old Bird Bro is here. Did you miss me yesterday?
I did.
I bet he was thrilled to not be around me for a day.
Did you miss me?
Yeah.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Matt Lauer's rape accuser fires back, why she's calling his response a case study in victim shaming. Then, the cruise from hell? The reason passengers on board revolted against the crew. Plus, weight loss secrets revealed. Jessica Simpson's trainer shares the tricks she used to drop 100 pounds. And an on-air interruption. See a reporter's son wander into her segment on live TV.
Excuse me, my kids are here.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, October 10th. I'm here with Tori, Lindsay, Al. I am Sam. Jeff has the day off. Let's get right to it. Well, we talked a lot about this yesterday, but now Matt Lauer's accuser, Brooke Nevels, is slamming Matt's defense of himself. She calls it, quote, a case study in victim shaming. Matt denied Nevels' accusation that he raped her at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. He said their relationship was consensual. Okay, so Tori, he's going to defend himself, right? Do you consider his defense victim shaming as she described it?
No, if I'm going to be super honest. And here's why. I think you are allowed to have a defense. I think you're allowed to speak up for yourself. He's never spoken out about anything but this. That kind of stands out for me.
I don't think he was afforded to speak out about it before. He didn't know how the cards would fall.
And I think
now he's got nothing to lose, in my opinion.
Well, and I hear that, but I do have some questions, and I don't want to be ashamed or scared to say I have questions, right? Because it's a very murky swamp of some issues. They were dating 3 years afterwards, but she's saying it was this horrific anal intercourse she didn't want, crying into a pillow. But then again, she stayed with him and didn't go to the cops. So I gotta be honest, I'm a little murky about their transactional relationship, as she called it, and I hope that's okay. That I don't know.
I hope we don't live in a world where somebody's scared to ask questions.
Yeah, I 100% think that we can have a conversation about it without you having to feel that you are somehow shaming this individual.
Well, and people do tend to jump on you immediately. I think we judge social media by actual real interactions. Like, I think if you had this conversation with us, we'll deal with it differently than on social media. It's just attack. But I think that what she's saying is that a man raped her. And so I think I'm not trying to wonder why she's not going to the cops. And I know I've never been in that situation, so I can't speak for her. But I think that have him on file as a predator. Go through the proper litigation so that we can see if this man is guilty or innocent.
But would the cops believe against Matt Lauer? Who's
I think now, I don't know about 20 years ago, I think now, I mean, we've seen the most powerful man in Hollywood fall. And I don't think people that aren't in the industry understand how powerful Harvey Weinstein is. We all realize how powerful Bill Cosby is, and he is in handcuffs in jail.
But who took them down, Al? Journalists, not the cops. Journalists.
And she did. Let's remember, it's not like she hid this until a year ago. This is somebody that did go to HR. This is somebody that moved companies. I mean, she was still underneath the NBC umbrella, but she moved to a different production end of it, so she did not have to run into him anymore because eventually she felt like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
She claims that the only reason why she continued to see him because she did feel that she would lose her job.
Right.
There was an abuse of power there, allegedly. But I think Tori's point is so vital in today's day and age. You can question without calling someone a liar, because we know that false accusations are very rare. We never want to make somebody feel re-victimized, but it's okay to have dialogue about it and make sure that due process has just that.
Right. I think you should question anybody that wonders why you're questioning something. That's what I teach my kids is question things. Don't just bow down to authority. Ask questions. Who are you? Did my dad tell you to pick me up? Can I talk to him on the phone? Ask questions about everything. And I think this case is no different. So let's hope we find out. I don't want to be too blanket over anything and make it easy. Would it be easier if we just made a rule that we just ban all office romantic relationships and we ban all office fraternization? Because if you say
I wouldn't be married to Brooks.
Well, there's already protocols in place. Hold up. There are protocols in place. If you are dating someone, you do have to go to HR and report it. They will say if there's a power dynamic that one of you may have to switch departments, one of you may have to quit, but I don't think like a ban. I mean, Tori met her husband.
Would there have been a power dynamic with you guys? Because I feel like it's like if you're the CEO and mailroom, okay,
we get it,
but but a producer, on-air talent, like how does that producer, editor, like who's?
And we didn't shade Bill Gates in the same way, right? Melinda was a project manager and he was the CEO and owner of Microsoft. But they're married, and so we praise that relationship as a good one.
There you go.
But what if you say, I own a business, I don't care about your marriage. We have a bottom line here, and if you guys break up, it's going to affect your productivity, it's going to affect...
Then that's your prerogative to do as a private business. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good conversation, though. Okay, you got to see this new Fox News polls talking about how many Americans favor impeaching the president. According to Fox News, a majority of Americans, 51% of you, want President Trump impeached and removed from office. 4% of you just want him impeached. 40% are against impeachment. Well, the president is blasting the poll. Let me just show you his tweet. He says, whoever their pollster is, they suck. Are you surprised by 51% of Americans want him impeached?
It's not just impeached, it's that they want him out of office. That is ground shaking. I'm also amazed that it's Fox News, because I'm going to get a real sense of they're asking far right people. Giuliani just had 2 friends arrested today.
This morning.
So I think the writing's on the wall for a lot of people, and we've started to have the dominoes fall, especially, and you don't have to know a lot, with the Kurds in Turkey and all of that. He basically denied our allies any help. Well, Lindsey Graham, who loves being Republican but loves being a senator on the Foreign Committee, loves his allies more. And that will really piss off Mitch McConnell. And so I don't think he's doing himself any favors. I want to know what you think.
I think this is a similar split that we've been seeing. The difference is this one says removed from office, right?
That's a big change.
But there's still half of the American people who don't want to see this play out. And an even smaller number that said they want to see him get impeached. But then what will ultimately happen is the Senate's not going to remove him from office. So nobody in that poll wants to see that happen. I don't think that anybody voting really who's independent right now or on the right side wants to see that happen.
Excuse me. Bless you. That was super cute.
Final thought. Let's get to
very.
So it just seems like there should be more of a rally to figure out who's going to be the candidate to oppose Trump rather than keep trying to impeach a man who's going to be out of office possibly in the next year or so.
Well, then we should just let him do whatever he wants.
No, I
he's
understand
king,
following the Constitution, but I think that it's going to be detrimental in the long run.
I hear that.
All right. We got to hear from you guys. Do you think, DBL Nation, that we as a panel were too quick to defend Ellen DeGeneres' friendship with former President George W. Bush? Well, the two were seen laughing together at the Cowboys football game. We called her the example, and Ellen defended their friendship on her show. But now actor Mark Ruffalo is blasting her. Look at what he tweeted. Until Bush is brought to justice for the crimes of the Iraq War, we can't even begin to talk about kindness. I think we had a little bit more of a nuanced conversation. We did talk about, I think Erica said it specifically, if you're oppressing me, it is going to be hard for me to be your friend. But what's the difference between being your friend, calling them on the phone, maybe getting dinner, and then sitting next to someone at a game? Do you not interact whatsoever? What would you do, Al?
Well, the point I made when we were having this conversation is that Ellen and George Bush are in a very exclusive club, the 1% of the 1% club. I think Ellen's worth $400 million, and George Bush has that in his couch cushion. So who is Ellen going to be more comfortable in laughing with? One of her fans that's been watching her for 10 years, or George Bush? What is she going to talk about with that fan? I really love you. Thanks. her and George Bush can talk on a deeper level. And the optics look really bad to her fans and the people that she feels represent them. But I mean, I think it makes sense that they're friends. Now, how you feel about it is one way or the other. But who else is she going to hang out with?
Well, it's not just that. Here's the thing: she didn't just sit next to him. She then went on and kind of explained it and kind of promoted him. And if you don't know, going viral now is her giving that promotion speech. If we can just show the VO of it, behind it, see that blue screen? They're showing horrific pictures from the Iraq War. That's gone viral behind her. So people really, it did change my mind a bit to think a lot of people were killed in a war that he set off through a lie. Right? And they don't have the chance to say, well, we disagree, we just have different beliefs. They're dead.
But we didn't say the same thing when Michelle Obama was playing around with him at the event, handing around candy and calling him a wonderful man. It seems like you want Ellen to always speak up for every single thing that's right, and she really just having a moment. She's actually friends with his daughter. So that's like one of your friend's father disagreeing with you politically. You're still not going to cut off your friend.
But is it tone deaf to then go in your own show and say, look, we're good friends, he's a good guy. Why not just leave it at the thing, right?
Interesting.
I don't know if she could have not addressed it, though.
Yeah, it's like one of those things you have to say something.
Because everybody was on her, let me tell you. Okay, so have you ever had a dream vacation go terribly wrong? A group of Norwegian cruise passengers are revolting, demanding a refund after their 14-day cruise went south due to weather. Passengers chanted, refund, refund, after multiple ports were canceled, saying the cruise line was doing a bait and switch. The cruise line says, quote, we always do our best to provide our guests with a truly enjoyable and memorable vacation, but our very first priority is to ensure their safety. Well, you got to make up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd be so ticked. Yeah, you
totally do.
You
5
sign
ports?
up for it when you get on a boat that goes in the middle of the ocean.
Do you think Norwegian Cruise would rather have people saying we want a refund all over the media or just pay them out?
As somebody that worked on cruise ships, I think they wanted them off the boat so they could clean and restock and do it.
Because the
just take a
bathrooms
deep
weren't
breath.
working either.
Right, and that's more incentive for them to get people off of those boats.
Yeah, but can't they make it right by giving them somewhat of a refund because you missed 5 of the 9 ports we're going to?
It's unfortunate, but that's what you sign up for when you get on a cruise.
No, some airlines accommodate in different ways. Like if it's a snowstorm that holds you overnight, they'll get you a hotel, even a drink voucher at the very least.
Hotel.
What are they doing for them though? They need to make it right.
They are giving them 25% off their future.
See?
Some future.
And that suckers you into having to go with them again.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Look, some airlines offer you a chance to go on another airline and fly where you're going.
Very rare.
So they should offer you a chance to do what you want with your money.
It is not that rare for a cruise ship to be dealing with such rough waters that it misses ports. It's not rare at all, and sometimes it's a completely different route.
You got to make it right.
I don't think you do.
In my opinion, I think you're going to lose customers. I think,
especially after this goes by.
There's always somebody down to get on a cruise ship and get drunk. There's
a customer out there.
DBL's Live coming up. Jessica Simpson wowed everyone when she revealed her 100-pound weight loss, but now we know her secrets. Plus, Sesame Street gets serious. We'll tell you how it's tackling a nationwide epidemic. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. The Atlanta Braves baseball team is cutting back on a time-honored tradition because some believe it's offensive to Native Americans. Your comments on the controversy next.
So if you guys didn't know, I'm just going to let you know, I was actually observing Yom Kippur. And some people were like, what is that, Tori? So I'm going to tell you very quickly. All it means in Hebrew is Day of Atonement. So if you don't remember, but last week we have Rosh Hashanah, which is our new year. And then the week after, we always have a Day of Atonement. So from sundown to sundown, you're supposed to eat nothing. No drinks, no water, no nothing. And as you sit there in your hunger, you empathize with everyone else in the world that is going through that. And you also start to think back on the whole list of things that you did wrong over the past year. And you ask for forgiveness for your sins. And in temple, you actually pound the chest at some point saying all the sins, sort of a mea culpa, if you will. And you're really supposed to reach out to people that you've wronged and say, hey, I did this. I'm sorry. It's almost like part of the 12-step program. And we believe that after you atone and you fast and you sacrifice for things that you think you've done, you have what's called break fast. And break fast just is breakfast, to be honest. And you just eat at sundown and you celebrate you being inscribed by God in the new book of life. So it's a way for you to say apologies. So to all of the DBL Nation, if I've been arrogant or haughty, which I'm sure I have been, or quick with your comments or dismissive, apologies. I hope you accept my apologies. I offer my atonement, and I hope you have a good Yom Kippur. and a good rest of your year. I hope that explains a little bit more about it, yeah? Right on.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, many Atlanta Braves fans have been pushed to break a long-standing tradition some consider racist. Yesterday's playoff game between the Braves and the Cardinals did not include any foam tomahawks or chop-related graphics, and the request of St. Louis Cardinal Ryan Helsley, who is Native American, but some fans continued to tomahawk chop even without the music. So DBL Nation, would you be willing to break a tradition if some considered it racist? And before we get to your comments, check out this news station, their banner. They showed this after the Braves lost. Yeah, people are also offended by the word scalped, as they should be. They're, I'm sure, trying to be.
I don't know.
What? I mean,
there's a reason you can't find the word. It's
wrong. It's wrong.
Right.
Go ahead, Tori. Yep.
This is a great comment. Ronell from Facebook says this: how cool would these blind racists be if the mascot was changed to the Couch Potato Americans and the mascot was an overweight fan with bloody hands, not skilled enough to play professional sports?
That's not that catchy.
Yeah, it's long, but it's good.
Yeah.
I really do believe this. Look, I grew up with the Washington Redskins and the Washington Bullets. That was my basketball team, the Bullets. We were the murder capital of the United States. It took Michael Jordan coming in to change us to the Wizards. So I don't know why you have any investment in the tomahawk. I understand you like doing it at a game, but this is really, really upsetting to people. So move on from this, pick a different name, and get on with your big bad self drinking your cheese drink.
Cheese drink?
You know, the...
Wrong team.
Cheese hat?
Yeah,
Isn't that Wisconsin?
That's Green Bay
I thought multiple teams.
Pretty sure that's Wisconsin.
No. It's okay. Well, Debbie from Facebook says, I'm sorry to voice my opinion, but this is terrible that the Braves bowed down to one person and broke years of tradition passing out tomahawks. When are we going to stand up for ourselves? Unbelievable. Well, to that I say, when are you going to stand up for the Native Americans who have been mistreated in this country forever? I think it doesn't mean that much to you, so you should let it go and treat people right. It's not okay. Native Americans told you that it's bothering them. So why are you so hard pressed on keeping this?
I don't get it.
All right. Nellie from Facebook says these fans not only need to wake up, but grow up. Many of them are freaking adults. These are interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, honestly, I just say if somebody is saying that this is really offensive to me and you can change, it's not going to be any detriment to you, why don't you just do it? We have precedent for this. The St. John's Redmen changed their name to the St. John's Red Storm. Syracuse University used to be the Syracuse Orangemen. They're now the Syracuse Orange. Obviously, the Washington Bullets and now the Washington Wizards. They change. You don't even notice. So if it says it bothers them, let's change. You won't even notice.
Like, I know you care about the tradition, but they care about their actual tradition.
First of all, there's a
You know
lot
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry your sports tradition isn't there, but that's their actual tradition.
Well, there's a number of traditions in this country that were abhorrent. And if we did not evolve and change those traditions, we would still have slavery.
Yes,
so
we
what
would.
is wrong? I mean, listen, I respect your opinion. I do. I just don't get it. Coming up on DBL, the hit Fox show Masked Singer is back. And spoiler alert, the Eagle is a dear friend of DBL. We will reveal who he is. And another day, another drama for the Orange County Housewives. Did one of the women actually set up her friend on a blind date with a dude who's already taken? Ugh, that's next in Reality Roundup.
It makes me question.
I usually have water at the desk, but today I got tea. And so my quote, I wanted to read it to you guys to see what you make of it. On with the dance. Let joy be unconfined. Mark Twain.
On with the dance?
On with the dance. Let joy be unconfined.
You're supposed to have unbridled, exuberant joy.
But I don't think that's plausible. Like when you're on the
I
subway.
do. Look at me.
subway?
No, I think everybody needs to stay in line.
I've seen people on the subway break out in breakdance.
Yeah,
It was
but it's not-
amazing.
yes, but
I wished I was them. I wished I was them.
The literal dance.
Yeah, I don't know. I like everybody to stay in line, so we, just stay in line and then dance at your house.
I have a bracelet that
Again,
says,
I'm so
well, it doesn't
sorry.
say this, but it has like symbols to say don't get too high on your highs or too low on your lows. I think this just says stay high on your highs.
George, yeah, I know that he played for them, but check on when Jordan became a manager or co-manager of the Bullets. I believe that's when he actually helped change it before then. No, I think, I know, but behind the scenes, more.
When you start to shake because you drank.
You might want to tap your orange cookies off. Thanks, Sam.
I'm very cold.
In Ebony's boots.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
They are. I'm not gonna not wear them.
You fit. You must hide this one.
What am I going to do, not wear them?
Yeah, it's very
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Rewards and healthy living tips through the John Hancock Vitality Program. Best of all.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Reality Roundup, where we obsess over the week's best reality TV moments. So first up, on The Real Housewives of the OC, Gina's blind date was canceled last minute. Why? Well, the drama came when she learned Emily set her up with a guy who was already in a relationship. I would die. Check it out.
He tells her that he has a girlfriend.
Why would he agree to go on a date? Exactly. And he's like, oh, well, Emily and Shane knew that. I was humiliated. So like a pity date.
And then I called her 6 times.
I'm not even picking up because I don't want to hear her excuse her way out of this.
Well, okay, here's the thing. First of all, Emily was on Watch What Happens Live and swears that she did not know that Shane's cousin, who was the guy that she was trying to hook her up with, had
Was
a
in a
girlfriend.
relationship, yes.
However, I do think that Gina should be counting her lucky stars because Shane, who is like the worst of the worst, she doesn't want to get involved with his cousin, especially when her best friend and her and Shane aren't doing well.
Right.
Then she's involved in the relationship
And not only that, Erica, what do they say? Birds of the same feather
flock together.
Okay, that's all we got to say. Next up on The Real Housewives of Dallas, the ladies have some fun with gifts at Leanne's bachelorette party. Ooh, enjoy.
Oh, I love it! This is from Stephanie.
Yes!
Oh my God.
That is hilarious. That is amazing. Okay, so cute. I don't know if the underwear is sexy or creepy, but it is real funny.
Is that somebody's face?
I can't see if those are moons or someone's face or skulls. What did you think about that bachelorette party, Tori? Did it mirror yours?
It did. I had a very generic basic, and I went to where you worked, the Saddle Ranch, and I literally rode a mechanical bull because I'm the most basic human being on earth. But now people are like, Palm Springs for the weekend.
Oh, I just got an update. You might like this. Beyonce's face.
Oh,
Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce, not Beyonce.
I was like,
that didn't look like Beyonce.
So was her Beyonce's
Very
face.
white.
I was like, that trademark issue would have been horrid. Yes.
Okay, and Tori cannot wait to break down the latest fight on MTV's The Challenge. Why do they always fight?
Because they do.
Check it out.
They do.
We have to shoot him again. Just stop.
Tori immediately jumps in, and that's my baby. She a ride or die. She in there. She gonna die with the man.
Nice, real nice turbo.
That's about all he kicks.
Stop, Jordan, just drop it.
So update on those two are now engaged and they're really a good couple, and she did try to back him up. But Jordan is constantly yelling at people, and you don't mess with a man named Turbo. Now Turbo is in the Israeli army. I mean, he really is like a superstar. And so when they got into a fight, I was like, it's going down.
Let me ask you this. Why do they seem to fight every single week? Why do they all seem to be like jacked up on like PCP? Like, what's wrong with them? Why is everybody so angry? angry.
I think because they're on this long journey, they don't have a lot
Look
to
how
vent.
angry they all
Oh,
are.
I know. Oh, I know. When you're Turbo, you got a lot of anger pent up. But actually, Turbo's one of the nicest people out there. So, Jordan, that's on you for doing that.
Too much for me, Erica. I'll stick with the housewives.
Yeah, where they just throw drinks on each other.
Yeah, and flip tables.
Much more my speed. This has been Reality Roundup. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to your digital break. I'm filling in for Miss Kelly Schubert because she's out and she just had a beautiful nephew, actually. So congrats, Kelly. If you guys are Instagram friends with her, make sure you write her on over there. Her sister just had her first nephew in her family. So amazing. Congrats to you guys. With that being said, we were just talking about some of the new news coming up with Oprah, who recently did an interview speaking about how she was kind of not looking forward to getting married and why she didn't get married overall. Now, this was really interesting because, as everyone knows, like Oprah and Stedman have been together since like '86, so it's almost 33 years. I don't do math. I'm an artist. So with that being said, it's probably a long time. And they never got married. She was actually going into depth of saying that she even got an apartment because once they got engaged, she was like, well, I'm going to need more kids. So she got a second apartment in her Chicago condo, which was crazy. But over time, she had realized that that wasn't for her and felt that the Oprah Winfrey Show gave her that feeling of being a mother and motherhood in general.
She said the South African kids also, like she was a mother to all of them.
Which was so crazy to me. It's so interesting to see these huge moguls who we think of being like almost untouchable and not having feelings in a way. Like they live the best and most amazing lives. And like little do we know, she's like facing her own battles kind of.
Totally.
She was also talking about how she was 56 and thinking that that was her last year on earth. She was going to die. She was completely like set on the idea that she was going to be dead at the age of 56, which is insane. Like we all know, like 56 is like the new 30. Come on, queen.
Yeah,
like what's
come on,
good?
queen.
But she was even going into the fact saying that like Gail was the only person who even knew about this and that this was something she held close to her heart because she was going through some tough times. But with that being said, I wanted to bring that up just because today is World Mental Health Awareness Day, and it's very important to make sure that you check in on yourself and others that are close around you, even when you think they are doing great. So with that being said, always make sure to check on your neighbor.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
You're
I know
doing
we
okay?
actually talked a couple weeks ago, just to be real, about like my own mental health, and thank you for like taking that moment for me and just being a friend. So, and how are you?
I'm doing okay. You've always, texted me when I needed you, and I text you. So find a friend like that. Find somebody that'll check in with you, and for yourself, have some self-compassion. Huh?
Yes,
today is a day to
give yourself that big old hug, baby.
Yeah.
But also let us know, like, what do you do for like when you're feeling like maybe your mental health is taking over your own life or your own world? What do you do to help yourself to be better? Make sure you write down below and write us in to let us know how you deal with that.
Yeah, that'd be great to know.
Yeah.
Let's talk, guys.
Let's chat.
Let's chat.
Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Al, comments?
I do have some comments. This is regarding the exercise. Anna M. Diaz-Logan watched us on Facebook, said, what's up? She says, after I had my kids, it took 6 months with each kid, and I lost 60 pounds by walking, and as she says, eating good. So I like that.
We haven't done that story yet, Al.
Okay. I thought it was
what are you talking
I thought it was the end of the show.
That comes in about 5 minutes, so just stay tuned. And
These are from last.
We will get to that story. Yeah, let's do a close-up on Al. Yeah, that's okay, Al. You teased it appropriately. We do have a great story about
I think it's such a good story. I want people to get excited.
Okay, about how Jessica Simpson lost all that baby weight. We will fill you in. Thank you for your comments.
I'm really
Here's
good at my
what's
job.
coming up next on DBL.
Sesame Street is tackling a really tough subject, how a Muppet's hardships will hit close to home with millions of Americans.
My mom needs help learning to take better care of herself.
Then, a cute cable news blooper. Watch what happens when a reporter's kid interrupts the show.
Live television.
And Jessica Simpson's weight loss tricks will tell you exactly how the singer turned mogul dropped 100 pounds when DBL returns.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Right now, all eyes are on Greta Thunberg. The 16-year-old climate activist is a Nobel Peace Prize frontrunner. If she wins, she'll be the youngest ever to hold that title. It was previously held by Malala Yousafzai in 2014. Greta will find out tomorrow if she won. And listen up, pet owners, Uber is offering a new feature just for you. Starting next week, Uber Pet will be available in lots of major cities, which makes getting to the vet a lot easier if you don't have a car. A few dollars will be added to the ride, but my real question is this offered in an Uber pool option? Because I would love to open the door and just have a golden retriever just come right at me. Dream come true. And Captain Marvel is showing up in real life too. Brie Larson is campaigning to have an all-female Marvel movie. She says other cast members are open to it and want to make it happen. Brie hopes if it gets enough attention, it'll be made. And I've got to say, I am all here for it. Sign me up for those pre-sale tickets because Captain Marvel made over $1 billion at the box office. So this could be the highest grossing movie of all time. Calling it right here, right now. And we know Flaming Hot Cheetos are dangerously cheesy, but it turns out it's enough to get stopped by TSA. Emily Gould says she was stopped at the airport because she was packing too many Cheetos. Agents inspected all 20 bags she was carrying. Now, yes, I could probably eat all of those in a day, but Emily said she was traveling overseas and was bringing them as gifts because the world needs to experience Flaming Hot Cheetos. That's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live, so let's get started. Well, last night's Masked Singer saw 4 new contestants face off, but it was the end of the road for the Eagle. Now we know who it is. Any guesses? It's not Al. Here's a clue. It's a friend of DBL. Check it out.
Eagle, show us who you really are. It's Dr. Drew!
He was so mad because him and Jenny McCarthy are very close, and he was like, how could she have not known it wasn't me? She knew he was a trained opera singer. Did you guys know he was a trained opera singer?
Not at all, but you worked with him for years.
Yes, and he used to go do, in fact, I think we have some tape of him doing one of the games because he used to always sing the national anthem at like Dodgers games and Kings games.
That's
yeah.
Cool. Way to go, Dr. Drew.
I know. I'm so proud of him. And I was razzing him because you'll love this, Tori. You two are like kindred spirits. The reason why he chose the Eagle is because of his, and I'll tell him, unhealthy obsession with Abraham. Sorry, that's so amazing.
I totally get that.
I know.
I totally get it. He has a strong
read every book. In fact, remember when you were here, he recommended one to you.
We were talking for hours about Lincoln.
We really were. We love you, Dr. Drew. Come back. I think he might be coming back in November, so fingers crossed.
Right.
But good on you, Drew. Good on you. An Oscar winner is in big trouble. Raquel, what's going on?
Sam, Cuba Gooding Jr. made his first court appearance today, and it was a quick one. He was scheduled to start his groping trial, but Cuba spent only a few minutes in a New York City courtroom before he learned that he's facing a new charge. We don't know what the charge is yet, but he's been accused of groping a woman at a rooftop bar back in June. He had faced 2 forcible touching charges, which could land him up to a year in jail. We'll know more about the case when he's back in court next Tuesday.
Wow, thank you so much, Raquel. Sesame Street is introducing a new character to help kids understand addiction. Meet Carly. She explains why her mom goes to a meeting every day.
You see, well, my mom needs help learning to take better care of herself, so she talks to people with the same problem.
You see, buddy, everybody there is having the same kind of hard time. So they talk with each other about it.
I'm obsessed with Sesame Street. They talked about Mr. Hooper when Mr. Hooper died in real life. Big Bird famously asked, where did Mr. Hooper go? And they said he died, and they explained death to millions of children. This is what's so interesting is they have something called the Sesame Workshop, and they identify the most important issues that kids in the certain areas are facing. So in South Africa, Nigeria, Cammie is a Muppet with HIV. She's HIV positive. In Zari, the Muppet in Afghanistan, has a hijab and a school uniform. And Lily explains in the U.S. she doesn't always have enough food and sometimes has to go to a homeless pantry. So the idea to market it towards what they're going through, and they say the kids don't see them as gendered, or they don't see them as almost humans. They just see it as someone I can relate to. No race, no nothing.
Well, there's a reason too. I mean, meaning that they look at numbers of how many of our audience, young kids, are going through something similar. And in the United States alone, there are nearly 6 million kids under the age of 11 living with a parent with substance abuse problems.
Wow.
So 6 million kids out there need to feel heard. They need to feel like it's not their fault. And that was another part of this storyline, Als. They made it very clear that it wasn't the character Carly's fault.
Wow.
That mom was going through this. Hopefully mom gets help. The reality is not everybody gets help.
They don't always get help, and honestly, I think the next step for us is just like really hammering home to this, not only younger generation, but the kids, the youth, that this is a disease.
Yeah.
And once you stop saying, why don't you just stop drinking? Yep. I love you. If you love me, stop. If we start looking at it like it's no different than having asthma or having the cardiovascular disease or cancer.
Why can't you stop having cancer?
Right.
Can you imagine if I spoke to someone?
It would sound that crazy. But we're still dealing with issues with not understanding that with mental illness. Yep. And I think we still highlight and lambast people with mental illness. A lot of shows are guilty of that. Aaron Carter appears to be going through something.
Yes.
And I see him on the cover of a lot of things like, look at this crazy guy.
Yep.
Look at another tattoo. His brain is broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so a lot of people need to start looking at that. And I don't know if as adults we're just already too hardwired, but I think the kids can understand opioid addiction and can understand mental illness.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, especially because today's Mental Health Awareness Day.
Yes.
20% of Americans are dealing with mental health issues, so you are not alone. And by the way, text 741-741 if you need to talk to somebody if it comes to mental health, addiction, any of that, all of the above. Well, the Duchess of York is spilling all her beauty secrets, but Stephanie Jones, why is this one different?
Okay, Sam, well, it's because Sarah is being honest about the work that she's had done. So she's admitting to getting Botox and injections over the years, and she's now had several non-invasive facelifts. The doctor called them once a puppet lift. It doesn't involve any knives. Instead, medical threads are inserted into the face to pull it upwards, and they dissolve in about 6 months, but the results are lasting for up to 2 years. And next week, Fergie turns 60, but we can all agree that she looks great at her daughter Princess Eugenie's wedding last year, although she credits her happiness with making her look so good. So what do you reckon, Sam? Is it happiness, or is it all these little touch-ups?
I think a little bit of both, Steph.
I think that's fair.
But here's my question to you, especially you growing up in the UK. Is this against the monarchy? I mean, I'm more power to her, but I've never really heard a royal speak out about this before.
Okay, so really, no, they don't. So really, if you think about it, they can't even choose what color nail polish they're going to have. It has to be nude. So can you imagine the controversy of admitting to Botox? I mean, it's so scandalous.
I was going to say, don't you think that Fergie's always been that one royal that has been the one before anybody else? Fergie spoke out, right?
Okay, so what we have to remember is Fergie married into the royal family, and she's no longer actually a royal anymore.
She divorced.
So she's a free woman to do everything that she wants. Like,
that's interesting. I think that changes everything. I do not think the Queen would have been happy if she was still under that
I don't think the Queen and Fergie got along, Steph.
Oh no, Lizzie was not the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Lizzie, look at Steph on a nickname basis. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Kids, they do the darndest things, don't they? Well, an MSNBC correspondent was reporting on the Turkish airstrikes in Syria when her son crashed the show. But don't worry, she handled it like a pro. Check it out.
Along the border, their concern is that they want to have Kurdish. Excuse me, my kids are here. Live television.
This is like momming 101.
It's just amazing because, you know, people will write in. Most people are celebrating her because they get it. They get the hustle, and sometimes you have to bring your kids to work if the caretaker can't do it, if your partner can't do it. But, you know, a lot of these correspondents are hustling. They're not getting paid. So who knows if she didn't want to have to spend the money on a sitter that evening.
Totally.
Good
I think everyone can relate to it, though, because you look at it like when you used to bother our parents and they're not on TV and they're just like, get away. I'm on the phone. I'm on a work call. She had to bring her kid to work, and this is what happens. And I think that makes her even more relatable.
I just like when they showed her. She was definitely giving somebody off camera mom eyes.
Yeah.
Like, come
get the kid.
Get this
On the
child,
border.
please. Right there.
Like, wait till after someone to talk to you.
Which is so cool.
There it is, right there again.
She's real. It's so cool she's being a mom, but she's also like an expert on foreign relations in Turkey and Syria. Like, how cool are you?
They're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Don't you love that?
I think that's fabulous.
Me too.
Love
Wonderful. Way to go, Mom.
Fabulous.
Okay, Tori, this story's for you.
Oh, no.
Taylor Swift is ruining marriages. Well, maybe not, but one couple's relationship is strained because the wife keeps playing the same 2 or 3 Taylor Swift songs on repeat. We don't know which ones those are, but let's hear a few. Okay, I'm going to fill in our audience on a little something about Tori. You repeat Taylor Swift songs.
Constantly.
So does it bother your partner?
Yes, it really does. My husband is a gifted musician. He can play by ear, drums, guitar, piano, and I only want to hear like "Lover" like over and over and over again.
Why don't you seek out new songs?
I'm not I don't have. I've always been on
she's
a terrible
creature of habit.
Yeah. No, and I don't have good taste in music. I don't. I really don't. I just love listening.
No, we saw at the DBL camping experience. Remember she put that terrible song on? And then you were like, no, but this one's good. And then you put the exact same song on again?
Yeah, she put like the most literal song because we were in the Rocky Mountains.
Cliche.
It was terrible.
Rocky Mountains.
So cliche. Lindsay, what would your boyfriend say irks him the most about you?
Well, he told me that I give him a honey-do list that has like 20 things on it. So it's like unaccomplishable for the day. You know, you can tell me to do one thing, he's at the store, but like also this, and then stop here, then get the dog.
I do that too.
And
that's like, the way you assert mental dominance. Make him feel like he's not good enough. You can never finish what I give you.
What about you, Al? What would your previous relationships say bother them about you? We all know you're perfect.
Yeah,
but
that's what they would complain.
It's going to be hard to scratch his memory.
They'd be like, what's my role here? No, I don't know. I think...
You have to think that hard.
I'm gone all the time.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm gone all the time.
Travel.
What about you, Sam? You're perfect. You are.
I'm pretty impatient. I'm the type of person that I multitask constantly. I'm the type of person that's cleaning up after Sophie while she's making a mess. My husband will just let her make a big bomb and then clean it up afterwards. So I think my husband would say I'm impatient.
Okay.
I like things out of sight, out of mind.
By the way, I thought you said a big bong. I was like, wow. You have a very open relationship with your child and your husband. I was like, can you say
a big bomb with an M went off in the house because there's toys everywhere. Coming up on DBL, incredible savings on products for everyone in the family, including this digital massager. Don't miss the bargains in our DBL Deal Blast. And Jessica Simpson reveals her weight loss secrets. Find out how she slimmed down post-pregnancy next.
Josh wrote, I'm not married, but only playing 2 songs would ruin my life. I know for a fact XOXO has really good taste in music because it's a lot like Al's, and when I do Car Shield, Al has cool music. I'm still listening to like the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Don't you think it ruins songs though? Like radio stations, they abuse the hit song
Love it.
so that people hate it. Like Happy by Pharrell. Come on.
I listened to that nonstop. Then it was Blurred Lines,
No, come on.
nonstop.
And then now you don't want to hear it ever.
I never want to hear it again.
Well, so that's your husband feels that way probably about.
And to be honest, although I can re-listen to a Taylor song from 2006, I can always listen to it.
So she has immunity against.
Yeah, she has immunity. And can I be honest? She's not the greatest, but I just like her simple, easy-going lyrics.
I don't know if there's anybody I can continuously play.
Like Brooks could play the Beatles all the time, or Dylan. Maybe Dylan's voice can be.
Has to be like Sade, maybe, because it's so mellow.
Like if you had to play, if you had to do one musician,
I'll go crazy.
if you had to do one musician only, I would do. Oh God, would I do Taylor? I think I would. Or Paul Simon. All right, so write us in.
One musician only. Who would you do?
You can only do one musician the rest of your life.
Stripped from your paycheck, I would do one personally. And you're being honest. You have a son, and he is dependent on you.
Wow, because I got to be.
And it makes sense. And if you claim him,
Sierra says
then,
Adam Lambert
yeah.
right now.
And
Queen
you're
is
gonna-
not a
But,
bad
like, for
choice.
the rest
Queen,
of your
right?
life?
But Queen has a variety. Like if I needed to, Queen has enough different things.
Yeah, but they were 35, 40 years ago. So that means like in 20 years they'd be 60 years old. So I mean, you gotta
They're
pick somebody.
classics. The Beatles.
I would probably pick Jay-Z. He's got a huge
That's
catalog.
not a bad idea.
And he's got
Kanye.
kind of, yeah, Kanye too.
Drake. Okay, Travis is saying Drake. So far we have Bob Dylan and Adam Lambert. For who? If you had to listen to one person, musician, for the rest of your life, Carol King would be good. Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. Jessica Simpson is getting a lot of attention for her 100-pound weight loss. The singer admits to tipping the scale at 240 while pregnant. She gave birth in March to her 3rd child. So now the question a lot of you are asking, how did she lose that much weight in only 6 months? Well, Jessica's personal trainer says there's 5 things she did to make it happen. So check it out, because it might surprise you. First, Jessica made sure to get her steps in every day by walking. Next, her trainer says she unplugged from technology for at least an hour a day. Third, Jessica made sure to get enough sleep. Sleep 8 hours. The 4th thing she did every day was eat healthy. Jessica says she ate mainly cauliflower, but that she was not afraid to indulge every now and then. And finally, exercise. On top of walking, Jessica hit the gym about 3 times a week. So what do we think? Does this seem legit?
No.
Why are you and Al like gave me side eye the whole time? Like it's my rule.
Because this is what everyone tries to do: eat healthy, sleep, and exercise.
Yeah, but nobody does. But nobody. It's a lifetime commitment. Somebody might commit for like a week or a month, but she committed for 6 months and she saw the results.
I feel like there's more going on with her.
Cauliflower, no calories. If she ate cauliflower almost all day long while working out,
Sam, I'm just telling you, there's a price to pay for eating cauliflower. Tori, yeah, it's super real. So I mean,
people wanted
she
it
earned
more.
that 100 pounds.
I wanted a real, actual trick.
People wanted, like, okay, I did 10 dumbbells a day. I did like 5 push-ups.
You guys wanted to hear that she had like some specific, like people get on these fad diets. They think, oh, she did keto or whatever you call it.
Yes.
Keto Galen diet.
The Keto Galen diet.
And people want fads. The reality is fads don't work. She stayed committed, and I think that's why she lost the weight.
Yeah, but I don't know about 100 pounds. That seems like a very.
It's the cauliflower. I think girl barely ate anything.
Did you just put some money in the cauliflower market?
She should have released her whole diet plan. Like, what are the recipes? What are the dishes? Then that
Nutrition's
could have helped
everything.
us.
It's simple math, right? What calories are you taking in?
Buying this.
I don't know if I'm buying this. What if there was? I don't know. I don't.
One of them was unplug your electronics. How about you get out of
Time
here?
to meditate, Al. We talked about this.
I have to get my rings closed every day. I've already worked out an hour today, and I'm not even halfway there. So you're telling me doing that 3 times a week? Come on, dog.
And eating cauliflower.
All right, with the cauliflower.
Coming up on DBL. Save money on this at-home pedicure system. The amazing price is next in our DBL Deal Blast.
Hey Beauty Blast, it's Jeray for the Slay, and today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these aren't tips you should be doing at the red light. These are tips that we should be doing when we only have a little bit of time, but we really want a beautiful look. Now, you can do this for every day too. I know I sure do, but I love these for when I'm in a quick fix as well. So my first one I want to share with you guys today is going to be eyeshadow sticks. These are a makeup artist's dream. Now, the reason why we have eyeshadow sticks is for quick fixes for eye makeup. Who doesn't want a really cute eye look and not have to spend a thousand hours, 1,000 minutes, whatever it is? You just don't want to spend that much time, right? I know I don't. So for that reason, we bring out eyeshadow sticks. Now you can get eyeshadow sticks for as cheap as NYX Cosmetics, which isn't that cheap. It's actually a really great line, but it's very affordable. These guys range from between $6 to $8, and then you can even spend a little bit more for an eyeshadow stick like from NARS Cosmetics, and these guys are gonna have a primer built in, so there's no extra work. With these guys, it's pretty simple. You take off the lid, you roll it on up, and you smudge it on your eye. For a quick fix, just press out with your finger and you're good to go. Now, if you're really got maybe a little extra 30 seconds or so, take your bronzer and brush it straight through your crease. This will give you an instant daytime look that's gonna be sure to make everyone stare and say, oh, hey girl, what's that? All right, guys, that's all for today. Until next time, keep slaying, queens. Have a good one.
Welcome to DBL Deal Blast. We've teamed up with MorningSave.com to bring you the lowest prices on the hottest products. And here to help us out is my twin in cheetah print, because we're feeling like it's going to be a wild girls weekend.
That's right, it
Miss
is.
Denise Plant.
Hey, we are going to pamper you, but cheetah not included.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Don't get us PETA. All right, we're going to start with our first product for our spa pampering weekend. What do we have going on here?
I love this. Sometimes I'm just so busy, you can't get to the salon to get your nails or a pedi done, right?
Right.
Well, you could do this in the comfort of your home, and it really does work, and at the same time, it feels so good. The MJoy Micro Pedi Callus Remover and Finishing Foot Cream. Now, the callus remover, it gently and effectively buffs away dead, calloused, hard, and dry skin in seconds, and we get that here in Colorado, you know that. The foot cream is made with peppermint oil and cocoa butter. It leaves your feet soft, and it smells good with a little bit of peppermint.
Well, that seems like luxury, but is the price going to be a luxurious price?
Oh, you're gonna love this. So affordable. Normally as much as $28, but today, $12, savings up to 57% off.
57% off, but your savings is so much more than that because we all know how expensive a pedicure can be.
Oh my goodness.
So we have these little aches and pains, and I know this product has been around for quite some time, but now it's perfected. What's going on?
I really enjoy the iPulse Digital Tens Massager. I put it on my muscles around here, on my shoulders, but I even put it on my stomach. Every once in a while, I like to work the muscles in my stomach and relax. It's the iPulse Digital Tens Massager. It's a portable and compact massager. It even has 12 automatic massage programs and 20 levels of strength. So as you're taking a nice, cool, relaxing walk, you can get a massage.
That's nice that it's all together you, that you don't have to count on anybody else.
That's true.
In order to make you feel better. How much is this going to cost?
Normally it can be pretty pricey, as much as $499. But today, Deal Blast, $29, savings up to 94% off.
$29, and as Miss Denise Plant told you, there's some duality on your back or tone your tummy.
That's right.
That's a steal. Okay, this looks very familiar, but I have a feeling that we're gonna save some money on this. What is it?
Big time. You are a fitness queen. By the way, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You've been working it, girl. Okay, so it's a smartwatch with the multifunction. This is available in black or white, and it has an activity tracker, health monitor, music control, alarm clock. You can even get text message notifications. It's really affordable, and I actually bought both. So my husband and I, this is the funny part, we track our steps and we compete.
Oh, yeah.
I can send him a text and be like, you need to get up, get out of that recliner. It's time to walk.
Well, that's the motivation right there. Yeah. But everything sounded familiar about this product until you said it was affordable.
Normally as much as $150. Today, $39, savings up to 74% off. Now you know why I bought it in both black and white.
Yes, get one for yourself, one for your partner, and then let us know who wins. We love keeping track. Okay, we hate hairs. We don't like them at all, but it costs a lot of money to get them removed from your body. So now you're saying I can do this at home?
You can do this at home. We're all about pampering ourselves, but do it affordably. So the Vivitar Silky Smooth Painless Body Hair Remover actually features 3 heads and a built-in LED light. It's also hyperallergenic and suitable for all skin types, and you get that simply beautiful, smooth skin that you absolutely love, but you don't have to actually pay the high price or go to somebody's office.
Or the pain.
Yeah, that's true. So as high as normally $60 you would have to pay for this. But today for Deal Blast, $19, savings up to 68% off.
$19. It looks as though we could have a pretty fly spa weekend for a very little amount of money.
Right.
When you have your girls trip and your spa weekend, make sure you wear zebra print. Thank you so much.
Get fit for fall in zebra print.
Exactly. Head over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing products at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you again.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's going to be a spa weekend. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you.
Welcome to Headlines, where all you news junkies out there can test your knowledge on today's current events. So I'm Raquel, this is Angelica, and I'm going to quiz her, and let's see if you can get the answer right before she does. Vinyl records are making a comeback. They are expected to sell more than what other form of recorded music? Is it tapes, MP3s, or CDs?
Vinyl?
Vinyl.
Music? Okay, that's easy. It has to be MP3s.
Right? Raquel! I'm sorry.
What? What's the answer?
So the answer is CDs for everyone at home. Digital Music News says vinyl is going to overtake CD sales for the first time since 1986.
People still buy CDs?
I'm going to give you one of the biggest headlines of the month, but I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it to you using some emojis. So take a look. What do you think it is?
Okay. Royal Flight, New York, Tennis Open, clap, clap, clap.
If you don't get this, you've been living under a rock. You get one more guess. Everyone at home is probably screaming at you right now.
Royal Tennis. Serena?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, you can never show your face in London because Meghan Markle took a royal flight. Yes.
Since when? Oh, my God.
Meghan Markle took a royal flight out to visit her friend Serena at the tennis U.S. Open. Next up, I'll give you 3 clues, and you have to guess which celebrity we blurt out right here on screen. All right. This actor says it's time for a woman to play James Bond.
Raquel, I've never seen James Bond. I know you guys are going to be so mad at me.
All right, second clue then. He, too, is familiar with the life of a secret 007
James
agent.
Bond!
Yes, but which James Bond?
007?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you the final clue.
Okay.
And you at home will be screaming. He has piercing blue eyes. Piercing.
Liam?
You at home have probably already won because the answer is Pierce Brosnan.
Who is that?
Wow, no friends with the royal or any secret agents anytime soon.
All right, clearly I need to brush up on my headlines.
He told The Hollywood Reporter it's time for a woman to take over the role.
Okay.
He famously had it in the 90s. Everyone at home remembers. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for headlines. Let's see if one day Angelica can get an answer right.
Welcome back to DBL. You have to see this Georgia baker's epic fail. A bride-to-be ordered a peacock-shaped wedding cake like the one you see now. Take a good look, because this is the cake she got. She says it looks more like a lopsided turkey with leprosy.
I just don't think
it doesn't look anything like what she wanted.
It's a bird on a cake.
For her wedding, Tori.
It's a bird
And
cake.
the random, like, crucifix?
I think it's a fleur-de-lis.
I hope it tasted good. It could have been red velvet.
Oh my God! If you cut that turkey open and it's red, imagine that.
If that showed up at Lindsay's wedding, she would not go, it probably tastes good. You would lose.
Excuse me, I just ordered a 3-tier cake for my sister's baby shower, and the man.
Gorgeous.
Did it have a dead
I didn't
bird
tell him to
falling
put a
off the
baby
side?
on there, but he put it on there, and the baby looked crazy. But I had to accept it.
We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, guys.
Baby.
Bye.
It's Thursday. What does that mean? It is Friday's little brother, which means it's almost the weekend. So I want to know what you guys are up to. I can tell you what one of our cast members is up to, who's not here today. Jeff isn't on the panel right now. He normally is, so I'm sure you guys are missing him. But he and his lovely wife Jordan are currently on their way to LA. They're taking part in a marriage boot camp. They actually were on it, I think, quite a few years ago, and they're going to go and do a really nice big red carpet, I think tonight. But you know what is so funny? So I believe that Jeff manifests this. So if you watch the show regularly, whenever we talk about airplanes or flights and delays, Jeff gets so mad and he gets like so riled up about it. And he always says that, like, he hates certain airlines and that, you know, flying is atrocious. And he always gets, like, cancels and delays. Anyway, well, today we had a big snowstorm overnight here in Denver. It started snowing at, like, maybe, like, 11, 12, and it's still snowing now. Anyway, the engine of the plane that Jeff was meant to fly on has frozen. And he's been sat on the runway, bless him, for hours. And if you go on Jeff's Instagram, or if you go on Jordan, his wife's Instagram, oh my gosh, it's so funny. He's so mad. He sat there staring, looking angry and mad, and I just can't wait for him to come back, and he's gonna rant and rave and tell us all about it, but go give him some love because he's sad.
Blast Live.
Matt Lauer's rape accuser fires back, why she's calling his response a case study in victim shaming. Then, the cruise from hell? The reason passengers on board revolted against the crew. Plus, weight loss secrets revealed. Jessica Simpson's trainer shares the tricks she used to drop 100 pounds. And an on-air interruption. See a reporter's son wander into her segment on live TV.
Excuse me, my kids are here.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, October 10th. I'm here with Tori, Erica, Al. I'm Sam. Jeff has the day off. Let's get right to it, shall we?
I like this. I look like a backup. I look like a lead singer in the 50s. Like Al in the DBL.
Yeah. You like being the only male?
Yeah, I like this.
All right, well, welcome. It should be an interesting show. We do have a lot to talk about, including this subject that we definitely talked a lot about yesterday. But now Matt Lauer's accuser, Brooke Nevels, is slamming Matt's defense of himself. She calls it, quote, a case study in victim shaming. Matt denied Nevels' accusation that he raped her at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. He said their relationship was consensual. Do you consider Matt's defense victim shaming like she does?
Actually, I'm going to defer to Tori, because what she said, she eloquently stated something that I couldn't articulate.
Aww,
so
that's very kind of you. Basically, I think that it's not. And I think that's going to be hard for people to understand and hear. But what I mean by that is when you're defending yourself, you're allowed to in life. You're allowed to say, I didn't do anything. Matt Lauer's never defended himself before. He's defending himself now. That's a big difference for me. Look, they had anal intercourse, whether or not it was she was okay with it or not. They spent 3 years together afterwards. Now, that doesn't mean anything, but she never made a police report. So do I have...
But she did take it to HR.
She did take it to HR. So these yes or no's make me think I'm in this murky kind of water, and I just need more answers. Now, I hope me wanting more answers doesn't mean I'm victim shaming, because that doesn't seem fair.
I don't believe that you're victim shaming at all. My biggest question is, if this incident, as it was reported to HR, how was that overlooked?
That was my question.
For this long of a period of time?
Well, this is what happened. NBC said someone overlooked it, but as soon as Andy Lack and another person saw it, he was fired within 24 hours. So as soon as the right people saw it, it was so egregious. This was the smoking gun, this girl.
So how long?
Rape?
Yeah, how do you...
That kind of stands out on the page.
Absolutely, but it happened.
There was a number of things that they said happened. So they said, number one, because it was out of their jurisdiction, meaning it took place in Sochi. They also said that there was not only her did she fear that she lost her job, members of Human Resources felt like that they would lose their job. So you have this I mean,
cloud of
abuse of power, possibly, allegedly. But I think your point, both of you, is very important for all of us to remember that you can ask questions without calling someone a liar, because we all know that false accusations is very slim, but you can still have a conversation and figure out where the truth lies.
Yeah, and I think we're having a conversation now, and I don't think anybody listening to this conversation would say that it's out of line or it's disrespectful. I think that you owe it to both parties to question when you have something this serious. I don't understand why it could be victim shaming when you would want somebody to be able to mount a vigorous defense, because I think we all want to think that we live in a world where somebody wouldn't do this. So I'm almost saying, please tell me you did not do this. I want to hear, but if he did, I want him to be taken to task. And I also want the people that let this slide. What?
Yeah, they should be taken to task too.
I can't believe that's not a bigger deal.
I would think if I read this, I would make a phone call, and I would the show would stop mid-show, and this would be
but remember,
a
Al,
red
they were together for
crisis.
3 more years, so that is it complicates the issue.
It does.
It's just confusing to a lot of people.
But I think it also makes more sense as to why she may have continued to interact with him. He was so Teflon that reporting sodomy probably made her, as a victim, just speculating, feel like, well, maybe I'm overreacting because nobody else seems to think that this is a big deal.
That is a fair point.
Thought about
that is a fair point. You got to see this new Fox News poll talking about how many Americans favor impeaching the president. According to Fox News, a majority of Americans, 51% of you, want President Trump not only impeached, but also removed from the Oval Office. 4% want him impeached, and 40% are against the impeachment. While the president is blasting the poll, let me show you what he tweeted. Whoever their pollster is, they suck.
So eloquent.
So eloquent. Does this shock you?
Yeah, and here's the only reason why. First, well, there's 2 reasons. One, it's Fox. So this is a Fox News poll, meaning the right-wing people were asked. And more than half not only want him impeached, again, if you don't know anything about impeachment, that just means the House does something. It has to go to a trial in the Senate to be kicked out. 51% of the people want him kicked out of office. So to me, today, earlier, Giuliani just had 2 colleagues arrested. So to me, the writing's on the wall. It's happening. And when you're a politician, not to say it's a good thing, but you tend to pivot with what your constituents want. And if the writing's on the wall for your constituents, and now he's not helping our allies in Turkey and they're like dying, the military is going to start to change. So I think the tide is turning, as we can see. It's a very, very interesting poll, I think.
Thank you, Tori. Chime in, DBL Nation. Were we too quick to defend Ellen DeGeneres' friendship with former President George W. Bush? The two were seen laughing together at the Cowboys football game, and Ellen defended their friendship on her show, but now actor Mark Ruffalo is blasting her. Look at what he tweeted. Until Bush is brought to justice for the crimes of the Iraq War, we can't even begin to talk about kindness. Do you think, Erica, that people were too quick to say that she handled this so gracefully?
I do believe so, but I can understand why. We've become so divisive that people are really searching for unity, and I absolutely understand that. Where I was coming from, and the reason why I couldn't defend it, is because if you've ever been in a situation where you have had a friendship or a good relationship with someone, and they've shown you that at their base, at their core, they believe that you should be oppressed, they believe that you shouldn't have the same rights and values that they have, then once you understand that, I can't stop seeing that. I can't stop feeling that, and that's the reason why we can't be friends.
This is James Baldwin. We can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and the right to exist. That's James Baldwin. I took a picture of it thinking, I think that's what you meant.
Yeah.
If you deny me the very right to exist. So I went easy on Ellen, and I kind of regret it a little bit after thinking about it. Yeah. I'm not saying, oh, I'm so PC and angry. I'm just thinking she didn't have to go on her show and promote him, because now something's gone viral of horrific pictures of the Iraq War behind her as she explains that they're good buddies. And he did have a lot of men and women die for a lie and deny a lot of people the right to same-sex marriage.
I think in a weird kind of roundabout, this kind of proves what I've always thought. It's like we see these figures. Ellen is supposed to be the head of gay liberal agenda. George Bush represents, kind of old school conservatism, Christian values. But when we look at the TV screen, who are they hanging out with? Themselves, because they have a lot in common.
Celebrities.
But the people that they galvanize are constantly fighting. I don't think George Bush, when he flies away in his helicopter to whatever island he's going to and whatever island Ellen's going to, are really thinking about these issues the way that they're people that are fighting it out on message boards every day are.
Right. And the gay people that couldn't get married back in 2000. So I get that they're not thinking about it, but people are thinking about it. It ruined lives. A lot of people
I just want a lot of people to remember this every time that they let a conversation, ruin their dinner and like not talking to their kids because they're so mad about what they just read. Just remember the people that are galvanizing you and saying, Erica, go over there, and Tori, go tell that. They do that, they take their mic off, and then they go get in a limo and go to a restaurant that only those people can afford.
Yeah.
Be worried about the people that are trying to get you to argue with each other.
That's a great point.
That was a great point. No one's in here.
Yeah. Hey, I was feeling that. That was tweetable.
It's a snow day, and it looks like a lot of people are enjoying it. Have you ever had a dream vacation go terribly wrong? A group of Norwegian cruise passengers are revolting, demanding a refund after their 14-day cruise went south due to weather. Passengers chanted refund after multiple ports were canceled, saying the cruise line was doing a bait and switch. The cruise line says, no, we always do our best to provide our guests with a truly enjoyable and memorable vacation, but our very first priority is to ensure their safety. Should they get a refund?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What? No.
Ow. Just because you worked at a cruise line doesn't mean you have to protect them at all costs.
I'm not protecting
He has no reason to protect the cruise line.
I'm not getting a piece of that, Sam. No,
I'm a transaction. If I have a cruise, I give you money. But service rendered. There was no service rendered now.
Excuse me. If you went to like a state park, or let's say you went to the Grand Canyon, and they had some kind of weird fog storm, and you couldn't see in there.
Fog storm?
That actually happened to me at the.
So now what? So like, first of all, I didn't think there was fog either.
There is fog there.
But like, if Mother Nature steps in, I don't know if you can get your money back unless you get traveler's insurance.
No, because your situation wouldn't happen because they always have those signs that say low visibility or something, so you can make the.
You're getting onto a boat in the ocean, Erica.
No, this is okay. Even if what you're saying is true, which great. All right, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
However, what organizations and companies need to do is be proactive about making situations right. If you're proactive, then most reasonable people will be like, oh, at least they're acknowledging the fact that this isn't
people
what
just want to be
we
heard.
wanted.
And you can actually get a customer, and I know this just from my husband and I running a small company. If we mess up, and guess what? We do mess up. When we mess up and we make it right with our customer, our customer actually becomes more of a diehard.
Right.
All of a sudden, their emails are like, thank you so much.
Right.
That's so kind of you. Wow. And they actually feel heard, and they actually feel like that they're being compensated. So you just gained a loyal customer. I don't think
they're on a floating bar, Sam. They could go make it better.
Yeah, the pickle book, like Hold the Pickle. There's some book about a pickle, and it tells you about customers. Anyway.
Okay, I'm going to read the pickle book.
I don't know if that's the name of it at all. And neither does Erica.
I don't think so.
DBL is live. Coming up, Jessica Simpson wowed everyone when she revealed her 100-pound weight loss, but now we know her secrets. Plus, Sesame Street gets serious. We'll tell you how it's tackling a nationwide epidemic, and you, the viewer, are our fifth host. The Atlanta Braves baseball team is cutting back on a time-honored tradition because some believe it's offensive to Native Americans. Your comments on the controversy next.
I would just say this about customer satisfaction. You know who I think played that perfectly? and you've seen a resurgence. Resurgence is Domino's. Do you remember Domino's pizza?
They were like, our pizza sucks.
Yeah, they were like, basically, our pizzas are terrible.
Okay, cool.
Send us a picture, and if it's terrible, we will happily refund it.
good. And
We're
it's just
done.
where, like,
We're
one
sorry.
chairs?
We gave you crap. And people were like, all right, we'll give you another chance. And Domino's is like
You
back.
can go to the tracker and see that Courtney's making your pizza. I don't think it's Courtney, but I always think they're making up names over there. It's just like Pamela. Okay, so Stephen George has called us out. We are not going to reflect on the past. Ellen is a great leader, and I'm disappointed you guys missed what she's saying. You guys hear what Ellen is saying, but you're not listening. I totally hear you. And Zoe Rose, on the other hand, says, look, just in the words of Kanye, George Bush doesn't care for black people. Think about what the Katrina victims have to feel like. So I get that. Yesterday I kind of went back. At first I was like, how great, love. And then I'm like, yo, if I was a military family that lost a loved one in a lie for a war, I'd be so angry. Ellen's like,
what about 2 legs? What about that? What if you're permanently disabled, which a lot of people are?
Right.
I mean, look, it's a difficult subject, but I don't think it's as hard as we're making it. You have to make a decision on where your values lie. If you are a person that says, until he is brought to justice, I cannot deal with him, then that's fine. Some people, and I think Erica said it so eloquently, and I hadn't thought about it. She was like, I think we are all looking for anything to connect to, whether it's sports, whether it's apple pie, whether it's like, look, a conservative and a liberal can hang out, because we're all like, I don't think anybody's really enjoying what's happening right now. And so we're just like...
I agree with you, but I feel bad for the victims.
And not only that, like you brought up gay marriage, it's not just that you're denying someone's right to marry. When you show the world that these 2 individuals are less worthy of human rights, that leads to discrimination, that leads to hate speech, violence, and which leads to more suicide amongst those marginalized. Yes. Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, many Atlanta Braves fans have been pushed to break a long-standing tradition some consider racist. Yesterday's playoff game between the Braves and the Cardinals did not include any foam tomahawks or chop-related graphics at the request of St. Louis Cardinal Ryan Helsley, who is Native American. But some fans continue to tomahawk chop even without the music. So DBL Nation, would you be willing to break a tradition if some considered it offensive, if they considered it racist? And before we get to your comments, I want you to check out this news station's banner shown after the Braves lost. Yeah, Braves scalped, it says, and people are also offended by that banner, rightfully so. I can't even, it just goes over my head, like why they thought that was okay or tongue-in-cheek or whatever they thought. Unbelievable.
Not good. Marcus from Facebook says, it's about time to stop the chop and ditch the racist mascots of all types. There should not be cultural stereotypes. More natives would speak up if they were not killed off and pushed into reservations. Marcos, you got a great point there. Yeah, look, grew up the Washington Redskins, which is still the Redskins, which is so embarrassing. The Washington Bullets changed after we became the murder capital of the United States to the Washington Wizards. No one freaked out, no one died, no one did anything, but we just rebrand. It's time to rebrand, it's time to reprioritize. These people feel awful about it. I know you want your tradition for sports, but they want their actual tradition.
Debbie from Facebook says, I'm sorry to voice my opinion, but this is terrible that the Braves bowed down to one person and broke years of a tradition, passing out tomahawks. When are we going to stand up for ourselves? Unbelievable. Well, Debbie, exactly what you're asking, apparently your population should stand up for themselves. The people who are actually affected by it have stood up for themselves. I don't ever believe that when someone tells me something is offensive to them, that I have the right to tell them that it's not. When you're talking about tradition, it's not like he tried to take your Thanksgiving away. It's just something that's super antiquated. And that's just it.
And I'll just say, I'm not going to read a comment. I'll just tell you really quickly. And this is almost on behalf of the viewer that is saying, well, let us keep our tradition. This isn't about the tomahawk chop. I understand why you guys are upset. Because you attribute that tradition to positive memories, to bonding with your family. And when somebody comes after that, you feel like it's a personal attack. It is not a personal attack. We are constantly moving forward as a people. And you will find that you'll be much happier if you just get down with it. There was a moment where people push back about seatbelts being in cars. People push back. People used to throw trash out the window while they were driving.
Yeah,
throw it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And now think about how crazy you would look. And they're saying, we always throw trash out the window. Come on, stop being a hippie. Things are going to change regardless. So why don't you be on the right side of history? I promise you won't miss the time I go chop. They'll still have beer at the games. That's all we care about.
Well said. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, we have a Twitter poll going on right now. It has been going on all day. I started at 10:30 show, still going on. Is it time to end the tradition of Native American mascots? What do you guys think is in charge, yes or no? What's in right now, what is higher, yes or no?
I hope it's get rid of those racist traditions.
You are right. Yes has 58%. It's time to end the mascot, and no is 42%. So not a very high amount of difference.
I just try and liken it to like if you're in class or if you're at your work and someone comes up to you and says, that shirt you're wearing is offensive to me, or it makes me feel bad, or it hurts my feelings because this happened to my people, or this, like, what would you say in that moment? Yeah. Wouldn't you be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even think of it that way. Thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry that your family went through that, or you went through that, or your ancestors went through that. I'm so sorry. I will never wear this shirt again. You would think just human nature, that's how you would react. Why would this be any different?
Well, I think people don't like to feel like they're being told what to do.
That's a great
But also, you are also exercising and vocalizing your privilege of not ever having to think about that. Like, you are only chiming in because it's the hot topic of the day. This gentleman chimed in because it is his entire life and heritage. So he doesn't have the luxury of only talking about it when it's a trending topic on Twitter.
Right.
He has to think about that and realize that this is about the demise and the desecration of his entire people.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Reality Roundup, where we obsess over the week's best reality TV moments. So first up, on The Real Housewives of the OC, Gina's blind date was canceled last minute. Why? Well, the drama came when she learned Emily set her up with a guy who was already in a relationship. I would die. Check it out.
He tells her that he has a girlfriend.
Why would he agree to go on a date?
Exactly. And he's like, oh, well, Emily and Shane knew that. I was humiliated.
So like a pity date.
And then I called her 6 times.
I'm not even picking up because I don't want to hear her excuse her way out of this.
Well, okay, here's the thing. First of all, Emily was on Watch What Happens Live and swears that she did not know that Shane's cousin, who was the guy that she was trying to hook her up with, had a girlfriend.
Was in a relationship, yes.
However, I do think that Gina should be counting her lucky stars because Shane, who is like the worst of the worst, she doesn't want to get involved with his cousin, especially when her best friend and Shane aren't doing well.
Right.
Then she's involved in the relationship,
and not only that, Erica, what do they say? Birds of the same feather
flock together.
Yes. Okay, that's all we got to say. Next up on The Real Housewives of Dallas, the ladies have some fun with gifts at Leanne's bachelorette party. Ooh, enjoy.
Oh, I love it! This is from Stephanie.
Yes!
Oh my God.
So cute. I don't know if the underwear is sexy or creepy, but it is real funny.
Is that somebody's face?
I can't see if those are moons or someone's face or skulls. What did you think about that bachelorette party, Tori? Did it mirror yours?
It did. I had a very generic basic, and I went to where you worked, the Saddle Ranch, and I literally rode a mechanical bull because I'm the most basic human being on earth. But now people are like, Palm Springs for the weekend.
Oh, I just got an update. You might like this. Beyonce's face.
Oh, Beyonce. Oh, Beyonce, not Beyonce.
Not Beyonce.
I was like, that didn't look like Beyonce.
That was her Beyonce's face.
Yeah, I was like, that trademark issue would have been horrid. Yes.
Okay, and Tori cannot wait to break down the latest fight on MTV's The Challenge. Why do they always fight?
Because they do.
Check it out.
They do.
We have to shoot him again. Just stop.
Tori immediately jumps in, and that's my baby. She a ride or die. She in there, she gonna die with the man.
Nice, real nice, Turbo.
That's about all he kicks.
Stop, Jordan, just drop it.
So update on those two are now engaged, and they're really a good couple, and she did try to back him up. But Jordan is constantly yelling at people, and you don't mess with a man named Turbo. Now, Turbo is in the Israeli army. I mean, he really is like a superstar. And so when they got into a fight, I was like, it's going down.
Let me ask you this. Why do they seem to fight every single week? Why do they all seem to be like jacked up on like PCP? Like, what's wrong with him? Why is everybody so angry?
I think because they're on this long journey. They don't have a lot
Look
to
how
vent.
angry they all are.
I know. Oh, I know. When you're Turbo, you got a lot of anger pent up. But actually, Turbo's one of the nicest people out there. So, Jordan, that's on you for doing that.
Too much for me, Erica. I'll stick with the housewives.
Yeah, where they just throw drinks on each other.
Yeah, and flip tables.
Much more my speed. This has been Reality Roundup. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Hey guys, welcome back to the Digital Break. I'm Jure Banks, and we were talking earlier about Mental Health Awareness Day, and a few guys were writing in talking about how some people do take more medications, some people do meditation. I love a good meditation myself, or yoga. Working out is another great thing for some people who, sorry, I got a little Pop-Tart on my mouth there. Another thing that's great for some people who are suffering with mental health illnesses too. So these are all really important, guys. You definitely have to find the thing that works for you that's best. I know for me, sometimes I do suffer with more anxiety and depression. Not saying that I suffer with true mental illnesses, but sometimes I get those feelings, you know? So for me, a lot of the time, working out really helps me, or weightlifting, dancing always helps me. I love a good twirl, honey. And, you know, talking to my friends sometimes. And if you don't have friends, always remember your DBL fam is here for you. So many of us deal with a lot of mental health issues, so it's always good just to lean on your neighbor and just talk about what's going on sometimes. I actually was just talking to Steph about some of my issues, so make sure you're reaching out to somebody, and feel free to write me at Dre for the Slay. I'll be your digital buddy, honey, and we can talk about anything that you need to. So make sure you're also checking out our podcast while we're here. Our new podcast called Slay with Jure airs weekly, and it's all the entertainment news that you need. Ooh, they put me on pressure, girl. They got me 2.5 more minutes. However, with that being said, our entertainment podcast is brand new. This week's is with Stephanie Jones, our entertainment guru. Stephanie knows a little bit about everything, truly. She's like one of the most amazing women in the world. She like is a scuba instructor. She's like a professor, like a fashion professor. It's crazy. So we talked a little bit about what's going on in celebrity world and Hollywood, and we're going to be talking more. So with that being said, we need you to listen because we're creating all this great content for you. So make sure you're checking us out on Spotify, on iTunes via podcast, and making sure that you're also on Scripps. Is it Scripps? I think it's Scripps. One of those. Anyways, make sure you're, one of those. Check it out. It's under Daily Blast Cast, and then my channel is Slay with Jure. So make sure you're double checking it. Make sure you write me in. Tell me how you're loving it. And how do you like Beauty Blast lately, guys? I know we've been mixing it up a little bit for you, but let us know what you're loving, what you want to see more of, what you don't want to see, because that's important too. And what's your favorite topics from today? I know we've had quite a bit of discussions going on. Do you lean more towards taking out the name of Redskins, or are you leaning more towards the fact of maybe we should get rid of that because it's just not that great, you know? I'm married to an Alaska Native man, so in my opinion, I think we should totally get rid of it. I see what a lot of this does for the Native community, and it's a slap in the face for the Native community 99% of the time. So what's your guys' thoughts on that? I think it was leaning towards like 62%, yes, we should get rid of it. So we'll see you guys next time. Write us your thoughts, and write me at Dre for the Slave. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Welcome back to DBL. Tori, comments?
Yeah, very back and forth with Ellen right here. Stephen George says, part of coming together as a nation is working to become better. We cannot change the past, but we can make the future better. Let's do this, DBL Nation. And then right away, Zoe Rose, hey, that's easy again for you to say when you didn't lose a loved one. And I really think those are two really beautiful parts of the spectrum. Now, I also wanted to get this. Ray's Vibe says, the Braves have been doing this since the 90s, the tomahawk chop. Deion Sanders brought the chop to the Braves. But I have to say, Native Americans have been doing that for generations and decades. So I know it's a tradition with the sports fans, but it's been a much longer tradition for
some traditions should no longer be traditions as we evolve to become better people.
When you know better, you do better.
Good. I love that, Erica. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
Sesame Street is tackling a really tough subject, how a Muppet's hardships will hit close to home with millions of Americans.
My mom needs help learning to take better care of herself.
Then, a cute cable news blooper. Watch what happens when a reporter's kid interrupts the show.
Live television.
And Jessica Simpson's weight loss tricks will tell you exactly how the singer turned mogul dropped 100 pounds when DBL returns.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here, and right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Right now, all eyes are on Greta Thunberg. The 16-year-old climate activist is a Nobel Peace Prize frontrunner. If she wins, she'll be the youngest ever to hold that title. It was previously held by Malala Yousafzai in 2014. Greta will find out tomorrow if she won. And listen up, pet owners, Uber is offering a new feature just for you. Starting next week, Uber Pet will be available in lots of major cities, which makes getting to the vet a lot easier if you don't have a car. A few dollars will be added to the ride, but my real question is this offered in an Uber pool option? Because I would love to open the door and just have a golden retriever just come right at me. Dream come true. And Captain Marvel is showing up in real life too. Brie Larson is campaigning to have an all-female Marvel movie. She says other cast members are open to it and want to make it happen. Brie hopes if it gets enough attention, it'll be made. And I've got to say, I am all here for it. Sign me up for those pre-sale tickets because Captain Marvel made over $1 billion at the box office. So this could be the highest grossing movie of all time. Calling it right here, right now. And we know Flaming Hot Cheetos are dangerously cheesy, but it turns out it's enough to get stopped by TSA. Emily Gould says she was stopped at the airport because she was packing too many Cheetos. Agents inspected all 20 bags she was carrying. Now, yes, I could probably eat all of those in a day, but Emily said she was traveling overseas and was bringing them as gifts because the world needs to experience Flaming Hot Cheetos. That's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, last night's Masked Singer saw 4 new contestants face off, but it was the end of the road for the Eagle. Now we know who it is. Any guesses?
Tori.
Nope. Here's a clue. It's a friend of DBL. Let's find out.
Eagle, show us who you really are. It's Dr. Drew!
Do you know what that face was for? Because he looked right at Jenny McCarthy. They're very close. They've worked together in the past. She knows all about him, and she guessed Adam Carolla. So she knew,
she was close.
Which is so close. And she knew that he was a trained opera singer. So for her to miss it, he looked at her like,
Come on now.
Did you know he was a trained opera singer?
I had no idea.
You want to listen? Watch. We have this footage.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah, Drew. So cool.
And he was the eagle because you told me.
Oh, this is the best. So I was razzing him last night. I was texting back and forth because I had no idea, and I talked to him all the time. He kept this a secret.
Wow, good for him.
Under lock and key. I was like, what? So he said, Tori, and we all know that Tori loves her presidents and politics. He has, and I say, an unhealthy obsession he does with Abraham Lincoln. So he chose the eagle. They get to choose what animal they want to be or whoever they are. He chose the eagle because of Abraham Lincoln.
Do you think Lincoln's up there being like, I also watch The Masked Singer? Like, I think that's so hilarious. Good for him.
I know.
Very brave. Very, very brave.
Yep. Hopefully he comes on the show again soon, maybe in November. That's
Look at this look.
I know. Well, way to go, Drew. An Oscar winner is in big trouble. Raquel, what's going on?
Well, Sam, Cuba Gooding Jr. has made his first court appearance today for his trial, and it was quick. He was scheduled to start his groping case, but Cuba spent only a few minutes in a New York City courtroom before he learned he was facing a new charge. We don't know what that charge is yet, but he's been accused of groping a woman at a rooftop bar back in June. He had faced 2 forcible touching charges, which could land him up to a year in jail. We'll know more about the case when he's back in court next week.
Thank you, Raquel. Sesame Street is introducing a new character to help kids understand addiction. Meet Carly. She explains why her mom goes to a meeting every day.
You see, well, my mom needs help learning to take better care of herself, so she talks to people with the same problem.
You see, buddy, everybody there is having the same kind of hard time, so they talk with each other about it.
Oh my gosh, this is so important considering that 6 million kids right now in our country alone under the age 11 that we know about, right? These are the ones that we know about, are dealing with a parent that has a substance abuse issue. So God bless them.
People are very on the fence about when it is an appropriate time to have a conversation like this based on age. But my mother had this conversation with us when we were very young, that addiction ran in our family, that some of the things that we were seeing was a product of it. And I'm glad that she was transparent about it, because I think she really saved us in the end, because we were more aware of what was happening.
Yeah, I just like, and to be honest, to translate that is complicated for a kid, right? But a fuzzy animal that's genderless and no race makes it a lot easier, right? So Sesame has a Sesame workshop, and they do what is the biggest issues in each area. So Cammie has HIV and is a Muppet in South Africa and Nigeria. Then you have in Afghanistan, Sesame Street, someone in a hijab trying to go to school and deal with that. You have a U.S. person, I think it's Freddie or something, that needs to go to a food pantry to deal with hunger. And the idea that they say is, for some reason, the kids don't see them as people, but a reflection of themselves.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that they can understand it if sort of, you know, Mr. Hooper died in '82 in real life. He played a real human being on the show. And when he died, Big Bird looked at the camera and said, "Where did Mr. Hooper go?" And they said, he died. And they taught us about death. Majority of kids I know learned about death from Mr. Hooper dying and Big Bird.
Well, the reality is most kids blame themselves for anything that's going on in the family, whether it be abuse, whether it be substance abuse. And so what I loved about this, Al, is they took Carly, that character that we just showed, and they made it very clear to Carly that it's not your fault. This has nothing to do with you. And I think that's exactly what a young kid needs to hear. Oh my God, it's not my fault. My parent doesn't resent me, or I'm not too noisy, or I'm not smart enough
says
in
it's not
school.
my fault, right?
So that is so important.
I mean, it's everything. I think you guys have said everything so eloquently. I think the cherry on top of everything is the fact that, unfortunately, because of this crisis, either a lot of these kids either have lost their parents, usually both, because a lot of times they both use, or both of the parents are out of the picture because they're still using. That leaves a nation of grandparents to have to raise kids, which they can do. But grandparents might not be as good at articulating what's going on with mommy and daddy, because A, they're probably still processing it themselves, and B, they come from a generation where you didn't emote like we did. So I think Elmo stepping in there and just being like, hey, your mom's gone, but here's why, and she's coming back, or if she doesn't come back, that's okay too. So I think this is really great.
Yep, wonderful. Well done, Sesame Street. The Duchess of York is spilling all her beauty secrets, but Stephanie Jones, why is this different?
Well, Sam, it's because Sarah is being honest about the work that she's had done. So she's admitting to getting Botox and injections years ago, and that she's had several non-invasive facelifts. Her doctor called one a puppet lift, and it doesn't involve any knives. Instead, medical threads are inserted into the face to pull it upwards, and then they dissolve in about 6 months, but you can see the results for up to 2 years. Now, Fergie turns 60 next week, but we can all agree that she looks great at her daughter Princess Eugenie's wedding last year, although she credits her happiness with making her look good. So what do you reckon, Sam? Is it the needle, or is it just that she's feeling good about herself?
I think it's both, and I love that she feels good about herself. I love that she talks about it, Steph, in a way where it doesn't seem like she felt she like succumbed to any pressure. She was just like, this is what's going to make me feel good. But my question to you is, especially you growing up there in the UK, I'm surprised by this. I'm not used to hearing royals talk about plastic surgery.
I know, right? So this is very controversial. So in the UK, the royals have very strict codes down to the way they dress, the way they have their hair, how much they smile, even what colour nail polish they have. So can you imagine the scandal that she's admitting to having Botox? There'll be, Lizzie, the Queen, will be turning in her throne. But she's actually no longer a royal. So, you know, her and Andrew, they divorced, they're separated, and so maybe now she can just do whatever the heck she wants.
So if she was a royal still, do you think Lizzie, as you call her, because you two are close, do you think Lizzie would have had an issue?
Oh, I think maybe she'll have done it in secret, but I don't think there'd have been open conversation about it. That would have been a very strict no-no. I mean, let's be honest. Let's look at, you know, Harry and William's hairlines. They're very debatable. With all the money in the world, that could have been fixed, and it hasn't.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Stephanie Jones. I know, many did.
I always wondered.
But you know, Fergie's business has been in the streets for quite some time, so this is not like, you know, shattering news.
There's only one Fergie in my life, and she's with the Black Eyed Peas.
All right, kids, they do the darndest things, don't they? An MSNBC correspondent was reporting on the Turkish airstrikes in Syria when her son crashed the show, but she handled it like a pro. Check it out.
Along the border, their concern is that they want to have Kurdish. Excuse me, my kids are here. Live television.
Yeah, you can't control your kids anywhere, especially like they know. Like a kid sniffs it. Like if you're in like the most important phone call, your kid somehow will come over and start yelling and screaming. But I love the reality of this is because, you know, you don't know if she can't afford childcare. A lot of those correspondents aren't getting paid. You don't know her financial situation. You don't know if her babysitter was sick or the caretaker or if she's a single mom. So way to balance it, mama. Way to balance it.
Yeah, if only I knew a mom that was a mother, pregnant and on TV,
and a hustler,
working every day, even when she doesn't feel good. If only I knew something.
Wait, who was that?
We love you, girl. You're a great example to all these working moms out here. It's so interesting that we kind of have to hide and we're like, no, go away. It's like to this day, my favorite episode of DBL, I say it all the time, is when you were pumping after you just had Sophie, who's almost a grown woman now. It seems like 10 years ago that happened. But it's like we did a story about Wonder Woman being 5 months pregnant when she filmed Gal Gadot. It's like, let's highlight these rather than just like trying to hide.
Because it's been systemically put into society that you shouldn't. I was watching something with, I think it was Hillary Clinton. She was saying for men, you're supposed to put your children's pictures around your cubicle to show that you're a family man.
Wow.
For women, not to put them up because it shows that you might be distracted.
Isn't that the truth?
That like literally made my stomach turn.
There's so much that I'm learning too about motherhood and childbirth in this country, not to change subjects, and I know we have to go, but something I learned yesterday that blew my mind, and Erica, you may be aware of this, but Black women are disproportionately so much more likely to die
during childbirth
because of the biases. And these aren't necessarily conscious biases. So now Governor Newsom in California just passed this bill where they have to, nurses, especially in this in the department where you're delivering children, they have to undergo bias training.
Good for them.
And it's just, we have such a ways to go.
Black educated women are more likely to die during childbirth than white women who don't have a college degree.
Wow.
It's just Serena Williams
almost died.
Tried to advocate for herself. So it's a very scary thing.
Died recently. I know we have
Judge Hatchett.
Judge Hatchett. Good memory.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll continue the conversation in the break. I think it's a real important one. We'll be right back.
one reason why I advocated for a doula, and first of all, my situation is a lot different than women of color's situation. I had no idea the disproportionate mortality rate while giving birth. But women in general here in America, we're at like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to protections for women and how easily a woman can die giving childbirth here, and it's
my
so
sister
scary.
Adrian.
They're panicking and they don't need to panic, stuff like that.
They also go quick to C-section, and it's just, yeah.
My sister Adrian goes around the country giving seminars. She was here in Denver.
Oh, talk about that. That's right.
Yes, my sister
Yes.
that I just met a few years ago.
Yep.
She goes around the country giving seminars, only because I didn't know it was such a problem until I met my sister.
Yeah.
And I have 3 children. That she goes around giving seminars about the mortality rate of black women. We've seen.
I had no.
Yes.
I did no, and I mean
I mean, the numbers are crazy.
The numbers are crazy. Crazy.
So that
I
article
did not know that.
you read was a recent article.
The one with Gavin Newsom?
Well, they talked about Kamala and Bernie's initiatives. So a bunch of Democratic candidates have initiatives in order to combat the situation. But there was an article written recently that I had my husband read, because I think that when you think in terms of how you're being taken care of, you think resources are paramount. But for whatever reason, I think it's because it's been ingrained in our society, it doesn't matter what your resources are when it's innately exactly who you are. So it's a big issue. I'm glad we're talking about it.
So would you want to have a doula then? Because
absolutely.
So a doula, the difference between a doula and a doctor is a doula will go in there and the doula will advocate. So first of all, the doula is super duper trained. They know everything about childbirth. They know how to advocate for the mom. That is their job. They are there to be the mediator, so to speak, and make sure that everything that's happening to Erica is kosher, is good for her, is good for the baby. They're not going to fall into like, oh gosh, and this is a thing, by the way, where doctors, not all doctors, will be like, oh, it's 5 p.m., I got to go home. And moms will get rushed into a C-section. So it's important to have a doula. I know not everybody can afford them, but.
That's amazing.
3 times.
Welcome back to DBL. Jessica Simpson is getting a lot of attention for her 100-pound weight loss. The singer admits to tipping the scale at 240 while pregnant. She gave birth in March to her 3rd child. So now the question a lot of you are asking, how did she lose that much weight in only 6 months? Well, Jessica's personal trainer says there's 5 things she did to make it happen. Check it out because it might surprise you. First, Jessica made sure to get her steps in every day by walking. Next, her trainer says she unplugged from technology for at least an hour a day. Third, Jessica made sure to get enough sleep, around 8 hours each night. The 4th thing she did every day was eat healthy. Jessica says she ate mainly cauliflower, but that she was not afraid to indulge every now and then. And finally, exercise. On top of walking, Jessica hit the gym about 3 times a week. So what do we think? Does this seem legit?
How do you lose 100 pounds by just walking and eating cauliflower?
First of all, as a new mom, and believe me, I know she has the resources. No.
Right, that's what I mean. I think
the fact that she can work out, and more power to you, girl, but the fact that she can get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like I still don't get 8 hours of sleep. So the fact that she's getting 8 hours of sleep, she has time to go work out, she has time to get her steps in, just goes to show that that is not the reality for most mothers. Good for her, it's not the reality.
Well, I wouldn't believe this and I would be skeptical had I not experienced this myself. So after
Fitness training?
Right, after I stopped doing fitness competitions and extreme dieting, I decided that for a year I was going to just do a very normal thing. Pretty much what Jessica Simpson did.
Like lifestyle change.
Right, change my lifestyle. I didn't make treats and different snacks a thing that made my heart start to beat really fast because I'd gotten to that point. I had issues with food
because you had starved yourself.
Because I had started starving myself, and I had never had like eating disorders or anything like that.
It was strictly for your fitness competition.
So once that became a normal thing for me, I lost 40 pounds, and I never stressed over it.
How fast?
It took about a year.
Okay, she lost 100 pounds in 6 months.
Now a year, 40 pounds, slow and steady, like that's great. 100 pounds in 6 months seems
That's what I'm saying. I don't
unattainable. It seems unattainable.
They say a pound a week is a lot.
But she also had just had a kid, right? So she's going to lose, so she's going to lose that weight. I hadn't had a kid, so I didn't have extra weight.
You breastfeed,
if you're breastfeeding, you just, you lose the weight just because you no longer have that baby in you and the placenta and the amniotic fluid and your boobs go down.
Whoa.
So you automatically lose quite a bit of weight within like 6 weeks, but.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. Got that to look forward to. Coming up on DBL, save money on this at-home pedicure system. The amazing price is next in our DBL Deal Blast.
Hey Beauty Blast, it's Jeray for the Slay, and today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite red light beauty tips. Now, these aren't tips you should be doing at the red light. These are tips that we should be doing when we only have a little bit of time, but we really want a beautiful look. Now, you can do this for every day too. I know I sure do, but I love these for when I'm in a quick fix as well. So my first one I want to share with you guys today is going to be eyeshadow sticks. These are a makeup artist's dream. Now, the reason why we have eyeshadow sticks is for quick fixes for eye makeup. Who doesn't want a really cute eye look and not have to spend 1,000 hours, 1,000 minutes, whatever it is? You just don't want to spend that much time, right? I know I don't. So for that reason, we bring out eyeshadow sticks. Now you can get eyeshadow sticks for as cheap as NYX Cosmetics, which isn't that cheap. It's actually a really great line, but it's very affordable. These guys range from between $6 to $8, and then you can even spend a little bit more for an eyeshadow stick like from NARS Cosmetics, and these guys are gonna have a primer built in, so there's no extra work. With these guys, it's pretty simple. You take off the lid, you roll it on up, and you smudge it on your eye. For a quick fix, just press out with your finger and you're good to go. Now, if you're really got maybe a little extra 30 seconds or so, take your bronzer and brush it straight through your crease. This will give you an instant daytime look that's gonna be sure to make everyone stare and say, oh, hey girl, what's that? All right, guys, that's all for today. Until next time, keep slaying, queens. Have a good one.
Welcome to DBL Deal Blast. We've teamed up with MorningSave.com to bring you the lowest prices on the hottest products. And here to help us out is my twin in cheetah print, because we're feeling like it's going to be a wild girls weekend.
That's right, it
Miss
is.
Denise Plant.
Hey, we are going to pamper you, but cheetah not included.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Don't get us PETA. All right, we're going to start with our first product for our spa pampering weekend. What do we have going on here?
I love this. Sometimes I'm just so busy, you can't get to the salon to get your nails or a pedi done, right?
Right.
Well, you could do this in the comfort of your home, and it really does work, and at the same time, it feels so good. The Enjoy Micro Pedi Callus Remover and Finishing Foot Cream. Now, the callus remover, it gently and effectively buffs away dead, calloused, hard, and dry skin in seconds, and we get that here in Colorado, you know that. The foot cream is made with peppermint oil and cocoa butter. It leaves your feet soft, and it smells good with a little bit of peppermint.
Well, that seems like luxury, but is the price going to be a luxurious price?
Oh, you're gonna love this. So affordable. Normally as much as $28, but today, $12, savings up to 57% off.
57% off, but your savings is so much more than that because we all know how expensive a pedicure can be.
Oh my goodness.
So we have these little aches and pains, and I know this product has been around for quite some time, but now it's perfected. What's going on?
I really enjoy the iPulse Digital Tins Massager. I put it on my muscles around here, on my shoulders, but I even put it on my stomach. Every once in a while, I like to work the muscles in my stomach and relax. It's the iPulse Digital Tins Massager. It's a portable and compact massager. It even has 12 automatic massage programs and 20 levels of strength. So as you're taking a nice, cool, relaxing walk, you can get a massage.
That's nice that it's all together you, that you don't have to count on anybody else.
That's true.
In order to make you feel better. How much is this going to cost?
Normally it can be pretty pricey, as much as $499. But today, Deal Blast, $29, savings up to 94% off.
$29, and as Miss Denise Plant told you, there's some duality. On your back, or tone your tummy.
That's right.
That's a steal. Okay, this looks very familiar, but I have a feeling that we're gonna save some money on this. What is it?
Big time. You are a fitness queen. By the way, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You've been working it, girl. Okay, so it's the smartwatch with the multifunction. This is available in black or white, and it has an activity tracker, health monitor, music control, alarm clock. You can even get text message notifications. It's really affordable, and I actually bought both. So my husband and I, this is the funny part, we track our steps and we compete.
Oh, yeah.
I can send him a text and be like, you need to get up, get out of that recliner. It's time to walk.
Well, that's the motivation right there. Yeah. But everything sounded familiar about this product until you said it was affordable.
Normally as much as 150 bucks. Today, $39, savings up to 74% off. Now you know why I bought it in both black and white.
Yes, get one for yourself, one for your partner, and then let us know who wins. We love keeping track. Okay, we hate hairs. We don't like them at all, but it costs a lot of money to get them removed from your body. So now you're saying I can do this at home?
You can do this at home. We're all about pampering ourselves, but do it affordably. So the Vivitar Silky Smooth Painless Body Hair Remover actually features 3 heads and a built-in LED light. It's also hyperallergenic and suitable for all skin types, and you get that simply beautiful, smooth skin that you absolutely love, but you don't have to actually pay the high price or go to somebody's office.
Or the pain.
Yeah, that's true. So as high as normally 60 bucks you would have to pay for this. But today for Deal Blast, $19, savings up to 68% off.
19 bucks. It looks as though we could have a pretty fly spa weekend for a very little amount of money.
Right.
When you have your girls trip and your spa weekend, make sure you wear zebra print. Thank you so much.
Get fit for fall in zebra print.
Exactly. Head over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing products at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you again.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
It's going to be a spot weekend. We'll be right back.
Promotional.
Welcome to Headlines, where all you news junkies out there can test your knowledge on today's current events. So I'm Raquel, this is Angelica, and I'm going to quiz her, and let's see if you can get the answer right before she does. Vinyl records are making a comeback. They are expected to sell more than what other form of recorded music? Is it tapes, MP3s, or CDs?
Vinyl?
Vinyl.
Music? Okay, that's easy. It has to be MP3s. Right?
Raquel! I'm sorry.
What's the answer?
So the answer is CDs for everyone at home. Digital Music News says vinyl is going to overtake CD sales for the first time since 1986.
People still buy CDs?
I'm going to give you one of the biggest headlines of the month, but I'm not going to tell it to you. I'm going to show it to you using some emojis. So take a look. What do you think it is?
Okay. Royal Flight, New York, Tennis Open, clap, clap, clap.
If you don't get this, you've been living under a rock. You get one more guess. Everyone at home is probably screaming at you right now.
Royal Tennis. Serena?
Oh man, you can never show your face in London because Meghan Markle took a royal yes.
Since when? Oh my God.
Meghan Markle took a royal flight out to visit her friend Serena at the tennis US Open. Next up, I'll give you 3 clues and you have to guess which celebrity we blurred out right here on screen. All right, this actor says it's time for a woman to play James Bond.
Raquel, I've never seen James Bond. I know you guys are going to be so mad at me.
All right, second clue then. He too is familiar with the life of a secret 007
James
agent.
Bond!
Yes, but which James Bond?
007?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you the final clue.
Okay.
And you at home will be screaming. He has piercing blue eyes. Piercing.
Liam?
You at home have probably already won because the answer is Pierce Brosnan.
Who is that?
Wow, no friends with the royal or any secret agents anytime soon.
All right, clearly I need to brush up on my headlines.
He told The Hollywood Reporter it's time for a woman to take over the role.
Okay.
He famously had it in the 90s. Everyone at home remembers. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for headlines. Let's see if one day Angelica can get an answer right.
Welcome back to DBL. You have to see this Georgia baker's epic fail. A bride-to-be ordered a peacock-shaped wedding cake like this one you see now. Okay, gorgeous. Take a good look because this is the cake she got. She says it looks more like a lopsided turkey with leprosy. That's
What about just not giving? Look at Erica's face. What about just not giving the cake?
No. What do you mean?
You can't,
Just don't. If you're the baker, just be like, your cake's not ready.
Oh. No, you got to own it and probably say, I'm not going to charge you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it starts, is not being charged.
This is such a lesson for people. Like, I don't know why people say they can do things that they can't, especially when it's an aesthetic service. If you're a hairstylist or someone who does nails, don't be like, oh yeah, I got that, I got that. We can see. We all have eyes. You can't lie about these
That's a turkey with leprosy.
Yeah.
You can't lie.
I know, but they try.
Yeah.
I know, it's too much. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.